make sure I'm not on mute. And welcome back to Liverpool 12th Man Show, the place where passion meets perspective. That's what we're going to be calling it today, at least, because we have Brian and we have Lee on the show with us. And they always bring the passion and the perspectives as well. So hopefully you will too, and join us in the chat. Tell us what you're thinking on some of the topics we're going to talk about today. And tonight, I should say, we're trading champagne for sweat, hopefully, as Liverpool, yes, let's just say it as many times as we possibly can. Your Premier League champions travel to Brighton. The beach party might be in full swing, but Arne Slot's Reds still have business to finish on the South Coast, or some might say, or do they? So let's get into it. Let's definitely get into it. We have once again, like I said, we have Lee, we have Brian on the panel today. Hopefully, we'll have you in the chat as well, joining in the conversation. And I'm going to bring in the boys right now. So big up, and how are you doing to the Irishman?
Very well, thank you.
Very well. And Lee, how are you doing today?
Excellent, good mate.
All right. Lee just got in from a special edition of track and field, and or he got it. What was the British version of it again?
Daley Thompson's decathlon.
There you go. Daley Thompson's decathlon. Oh, that probably aged better than Bruce Jenner's decathlon. So anyway, before we go too far down the rabbit hole, let's get into Liverpool's upcoming games. We have 2 left on the schedule. Brighton, which is a Monday affair. It's tomorrow. So we're going to be Monday Night Football, or the English version of Monday Night Football. We have Monday Night Football here in America as well, but we do have, but it's a little bit different. But all the same. It has there are some elements of it that are very similar in that it will be a highlight reel, hopefully waiting to happen, because this is Brighton fighting for Europe, or fighting for some type of Europe, because there is a slight chance that it not only will be 7 teams going to Europe, it could possibly be 8 teams going to Europe. It's almost to the point where
it's half the division, isn't it? It's half the division almost.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's to the point where it's just like, UEFA has to look at how they're structuring these competitions and be like, look, is it really a Champions League if like half, or is it really like the best of the best from Europe if like half a league gets involved practically? I don't know. But a lot of points that we want to discuss on here, and it's a chance to end the season with an unbeaten away goals record, which is pretty impressive. That would be pretty impressive. Arne Slot was again in Ibiza, but he and the team went to Dubai, but they're back. Got a little fun. Had a little fun in the sun. Now they're back to have a little bit of the English version of that. Liverpool last 2 games have not been ideal from my perspective. They haven't been ideal. I'll speak on that a little bit more later on in the episode. But last 2 games, 3-1 loss to Chelsea, a 2-2 draw against Arsenal, a game that we are easily handling them in the first half, and then a complete and utter drop off in intensity and focus in the second. And it's an opportunity to say, put a real defining moment or defining exclamation point on the year. So, I'll ask this real quick then, because I think the intensity has definitely waned. Lee, should Arne Slot have delayed the Dubai trip until the season was officially over, or was it okay to let them, go for their mid-season, not even mid-season, but late season getaway?
No, I feel it's permissible to let the players get away and unwind, and hopefully it'll rejuvenate them to a certain extent, or at least have some form of effect on them Nice and relaxed. Okay, back to business now. We've had our little jaunt. Now it's back to business. So I hope it has just, whatever, it cheered them up, made them. It's a tough one, like what type of performance we're going to get tomorrow. I don't fancy us getting a clean sheet tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I think there could be a few goals, actually. Some possibilities of a Desmond or of a 3-1 for us, maybe even a 3-2 for us. So, yeah, it should be quite interesting anyway to see what goes down tomorrow, like, and who plays for how long, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
66 barbecue party. Oh, definitely. They've already begun their summer holiday. Has the intensity truly dropped, or are those results? Are these results showing some cracks in our own armor, maybe, or is this really just the intensity, like as in people are mentally on vacation already, basically? Brian, what do you think?
Oh, 100% that, yeah. You win it. You're not flying into those 50-50 challenges. You're not sprinting until your hamstrings are about to pop because, yeah, the job is done. I've seen multiple title-winning players now making the same point. They said, "Look, it's not like you choose to do it, but it's just what happens once you get over the line. That 5-10% drop off, and it's he said, look, there's nothing really you can do about it. It happens."
It
So
makes
yeah,
all the difference, doesn't it? That 5-10%, Brian. It
yeah,
be
that's it.
like only a small amount, but it makes the difference, doesn't it? Like when you're playing a team that's got something to play for, those extra percentages make all the difference. But I'm hopeful that we can get a performance against Brighton. I mean, we were good enough to hold Arsenal to a draw, even though they came at us. So yeah, I don't see why we should lose. Why we should especially lose to Brighton. Okay, we're away from home, but not as good as Arsenal.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll ask this then: has Liverpool already mentally checked out? You can click A or not click, but you can select A, yes, time to celebrate. B, no, not at all. They owe it to the fans. Or C, somewhere in between. Somewhere in between. What would you say, Lee, to that impromptu poll there?
Yes, it's happened. Not completely, but it's happened. It's happened enough for results to deteriorate anyway. Let's put it that way. 1 point out of 6. But it was what preceded that, wasn't it? Like we were so good all season long, only losing 2 games, until we clinched the title. So you've got to give them the respect, haven't you? Like in the be happy for them, like that they've clinched the title, gone away, had a little jolly. But hopefully, yeah, they've got enough about them here to get a result against Brighton or put on a show anyway. Remind us all why we're champions, hopefully.
Okay. Well, I'll emphasize this then. Let's not be fooled by the seaside backdrop. Brighton have, I believe Brighton do have European football on the line somehow. Let me double check though, because that's what the commentator today, after the Arsenal Newcastle game, mentioned that Brighton still have some way, somehow, some type of hope of getting in. Now I know that I think it's because if any somehow, some way, the 8th place team is going to pop, we might get 8 teams in, because Crystal Palace are in. Yeah, I consider this. Crystal Palace are going to Europa. Right now, there are 8 teams. Actually, there are 8 teams. So Liverpool, Arsenal sealed their berth into Champions League today with the win over Newcastle. There's a big 3 points, by the way. They were sitting on 68 points, and Newcastle's on 66. So obviously, if Newcastle came in and actually beat them in this game, they would have They would have pushed in front of them in the standings, but that wasn't the case for Newcastle, who have to do some heavy lifting at the end to get over the line to get them into Champions League. But currently they sit in third place, Newcastle, Chelsea in fourth, Villa in fifth, Manchester City would be going to Europa at this moment. They still have a game in hand, though. They sit with 36 played. They'll have they're 1 point behind, so they would have to, obviously drop a couple points here and there. But Forest, with the win today, big win, now sit in seventh place with 65 points. And then you have the rest of the bunch, and then you have Crystal Palace at sitting in 12th place, but yet having being the FA Cup champions, they are going to Europe. So
City could afford to lose to Bournemouth and then beat Fulham on the last day, and they'd still finish ahead of Forest because the goal difference is infinitely superior, as is everybody else's nearly around them. But yeah, they could lose the Bournemouth game conceivably and then qualify on the last day by beating Fulham. So I think it's there for City. I'd be surprised if they didn't do it. But they surprised me yesterday. They went and upset Palace went and upset the odds yesterday. So hey, not 2 weekends in a row, but close to each other anyway.
Yeah. Crystal Palace is Crystal Palace, and especially Eze, has really performed well in the final run of the season here, and they've really pushed back. I mean, they had for a little bit. Crystal Palace kind of teetered during the season with trying to find their form, but they've definitely found it towards the end of the season when it matters the most.
What I do like about City's fixture with Bournemouth is that it's on Tuesday. They don't get that much rest. They have to go again. And okay, Saturday when they play, so they will have had enough days, more or less, but it just makes it that little bit harder to rouse themselves a day earlier from the disappointment at Wembley. So we'll see what's in store.
Real quick before we go back into what I'm going to bring up the table for week 38, but Tyler put A as yes, time to celebrate. Philip said somewhere in between. Dustin said somewhere in between. I'll save your score prediction, Callum. And Hash said A, which is yes, time to celebrate. Bonker said C, I want to win every game we play in, even if we are champions already. Okay, I'm with you, Bonkers. I'm with you on that one. Completely with you on that. Norm wanted to give a shout out to Everton, 30 years, 1995. Congratulations to Everton, 30 years, 1995. Evening champions, the Red Armchair supporter. Guys, the end of a era at Goodison for at least men's football. Women's football will continue on there. So it's not the final curtain for football at Goodison Park, which is good to see. Red Armchair supporter said C. I'm in the B camp. That's why I'm just so interested. I'm definitely in the B camp. I think they could definitely they could just continue to just excel on their dominance of the league and the likes and set records and personal achievements. But a lot of people put A or C as being their answer. I am guessing Brian's answer is A, but I'll see what he has to say. What would be your answer, Brian, to that?
Oh, sorry, I just put in the chat. I said you go out and try and win the game, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to ruin the parade. So yeah, go out and try and win the game, but if you don't, it ain't going to ruin my season. We won the
right. What would be your answer then? A, B, or C? Would it be, I guess, then C?
Would that make it C, I suppose?
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
go out and win, but
try and win it, yeah. But yeah, no one's going out there to throw the game. It's like literally in flip flops with the cigars on. Like, I mean, yeah, you got professional pride to play for, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Okay.
you go out and you try and
All
play
right.
for the win.
I wanted to bring this up. Let's bring this up real quick too. We were just talking about the week before we get completely into this preview of the Brighton game. I wanted to bring this up too. I know it's very small here, but let me see if we can make it bigger. So this is don't pay any attention to the times. Those are times that would be for. Those are the times that I have to watch these games. So like you can tell, it's like other than on Tuesday, I'm waking up early if I'm watching any football for myself here. But we have the Man City game. We have obviously our game tomorrow, but we have Man City versus Bournemouth. We have Crystal Palace versus the Wolves. Those games, obviously those Tuesday games, because Man City and Crystal Palace were the two teams that were in the FA Cup. And then we have Bournemouth, Leicester. By the way,
there's very few games that have nothing riding on them. I mean, Southampton Arsenal doesn't now because Arsenal are qualified. The others have all got, importance in the final table.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing. That's why I was bringing it up. Actually, was because I know what might be causing my. Hold on a second. I know what might be causing my computer to not be so quick. All right, so let me bring up this too. This so I'm going to show you guys the actual table here as well. As you can see, week 38 has some very, very important games left on the bill. Has a season, when's the last time you remember a season like this where obviously there hasn't been a time when five teams went to Champions League really in probably anyone's real memory. But looking at this table, if you look at the actual participants that will be vying for Europe, that are going to be, it does make a absolute difference. The teams that are already in Europe, you have Newcastle and Crystal Palace already basically assuring themselves Europe by them winning the League Cup and by them winning FA Cup. You have Liverpool obviously assuring themselves Champions League by winning the league. And then you also have, Arsenal doing the same today by winning the actual game against Newcastle and securing themselves a shot at getting through. Let me close this up. Okay, hopefully that does better because SofaScore ends up putting a lot of wear and tear on my RAM apparently. But these are the games these games are the ones that are on the bill. This is the actual table, 1 through 20. As you can see, when you see that 66 points, Newcastle sitting on 37 games. Obviously, the team, City, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, and Wolves all have a game to make up in hand. But if you look at it, 66 points for Chelsea, 66 points for Villa, 66 points for Newcastle, 65 points for City, 65 points for Forest. Do you remember, when's the last time you remember the league going into the final week where basically 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so basically 5 different teams are all vying for a place for how they're going to finish and whether what European tournament they're going to be getting into. And the only top teams playing each other really will be Forest and Chelsea. That's the only direct competition in it from that 3 through 7. Can you remember any time in Premier League history when this is happening, or even Lee?
Sorry, just ask again.
That's the question. The question was basically, can you remember any time in Prem history where there was 5 teams going into the final day that could determine whether they get a European berth or not?
No, this is the first time I've seen all the berths. Well, mind you, Arsenal's confirmed now, but all the berths behind us were still open until this weekend. But there's 3 left, isn't there? And it's all the others behind them. They've all got I mean, how far down have you got to go before people playing for nothing? It's Palace, isn't it, really? I think points-wise, is it? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is today, I think with this win, for instance, with Fulham, I know 55 and 54 and 53 don't sound that great of point tallies, but I think this was Fulham. I think I heard the sports commentator say that this was Fulham's best point total in their Premier League history, I want to say.
Could be. He's done quite well, Marco Silva.
Yeah.
I thought Everton were a bit too quick in sacking him because they became a hell of a lot worse, a whole lot quickly. Sorry, very quickly, a hell of a lot worse very quickly. Everton when Marco Silva left. Yeah, so he's done okay. They could be their best points, I can't remember them ever finishing particularly high. Maybe that season under Roy Hodgson when they reached the Europa League final against Atletico Madrid. Maybe that might have been a rival season for Fulham as being their best. But yeah, it's been good for them, hasn't it? So Bournemouth, Fulham, Brighton, Brentford, Forest, they're all in with a chance of European football, aren't they? So when you get down to Palace on, 49 points? They're out of it now, but they've got their silverware, haven't they? Much chagrin of Everton, who were just below them. I hope Everton fans enjoyed watching that one. Remember them way back when, 30 years ago. Bloody hell. Doesn't sound fly.
How about for you, Brian?
Not for Champions League. Well, this whole fifth, obviously the 5th spot makes a big difference. If it was only 4, but still, yeah, you've got we were there. I was looking at earlier on, but we were thinking that Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea was going to be huge, which it could be. But if City win both their games and Villa beat Man United, it won't matter what Forest do, because they still won't be able to get the most they'll be able to get is 6th. So like that's if City win both their games. So like I was kind of thinking Forest versus Chelsea was going to be a huge game, which it will, but Aston Villa versus United is huge as well. That is absolutely massive, that game. Because that can decide 2 teams, kind of what happens to 2 teams. So it's the Forest and Chelsea game and the Villa United game. They are going to be real nail biters especially if City don't, like, if they win their game and they win the next one, they'll just go straight up above 3 of those guys. So yeah, it's great. Like, it's pretty much for a while now, it was obvious like who was relegated and who had won the title. So it was always going to be really the last show in town. But hopefully those are 2 great games, like proper old school, fans in the stadium, not able to get Wi-Fi, listen to wireless radios, listen to the results and hearing cheers going around because of goals scored at other games, all that cool stuff. So there'll be some big moments, goals scored. Like I was saying to lads earlier, if you can imagine like Forest versus Chelsea and Aston Villa versus Man United are both 1-1 after like 75 minutes, stuff's going to get crazy. Because there's so much on the line.
I know why. Yeah. But by the way, I think this is how it works out. So I've been trying to look at how it would work because the commentator definitely said that Brighton still have outside chance of getting into it. It says basically their chances of reaching Europe in 2025 are slim, but not entirely impossible, particularly with Crystal Palace FA Cup win and the potential for Chelsea to win the Conference League and finish in the top 6 or 7. Brighton currently sit they sit 9th or 8th.
Can I just say, I will never tire of looking at that league table with Manchester United's club badge in 16th place. I could never get tired. You could leave that up.
Yeah. You get. I should just focus in on that one.
We need some sort of meme for them. Someone needs to do a really good meme about how low they've finished, like, and that for next season, don't they? But they have become a bit of a meme at home, haven't they? Like, how many bloody home games have they lost this season? Right. They lost more games at home than.
Yeah. There you go. This is for your enjoyment. But so if Chelsea were to win Conference League and finish in the top 6 or 7, Brighton currently sit 9th in the Premier League, level on points with 8th place Brentford. Here's a breakdown of the situation. Crystal Palace, this means Brighton can no longer rely on 7th place for an automatic Europa due to the FA Cup win, blah, blah, blah. But Chelsea Conference League potential. If Chelsea wins the Conference League and finishes in the top 6 or 7, a Conference League spot will drop down to the 8th place. That's why. So if Chelsea win and stay in the top 6 like they currently are, or the top 5 like they currently are, the berth into Conference League will drop down to 8th place. That's why Brighton is still playing for a opportunity to make it into Europe. It sounds wild. I'm sure it's not exactly the easiest. It's not exactly the easiest of scenarios to kind of understand. There's a lot more involved in it too. By the way, there's Newcastle. If Newcastle finishes in the top 6, they will take the Carabao Cup winner's European spot. So further affecting the race for 8th place. Brighton. Unlikely scenario, but it is where Brighton would need a combination of Chelsea winning the Conference League, finishing in the top 6 or 7, and Newcastle finishing inside the top 6 to have a chance of qualifying. A lot has to fall into place for them, but it is something of an interesting conversation if you're a Brighton fan, especially.
I feel a bit sorry for Newcastle today, losing Isak for the game and ending up getting beat because they were well in that game today against Arsenal. They had several good chances, very, very nearly went in. But it's a blow for them. It's a blow for Eddie Howe and his Newcastle side. They're going to come back from this against Everton and try and make sure, they have the final word by beating Everton. I hope it happens anyway.
Yeah. So there's again. This is. Let me show this real quick again. This is what they're looking at. Bournemouth, Leicester. Why I paused on that one initially is because I'm hoping friend of the show, good personal friend of Brian's as well, but definitely a friend of the show. Ant I'm sure he was at this final game, most likely to watch them perform a very, very important win because not only did they win, Vardy got a au revoir goal to the people of Leicester City that support the club. He got the whole, grand thank you and goodbye ceremony, and it was a well taken goal too. By the way, he had one opportunity, muffed it, but then he got a second bite at the apple and absolutely got it for the game. What provided to be the game winner. And I believe it was 2-0. I want to say it was their win, and then Wolves, Brentford. That game.
Say again? It was his 200 goal exactly. He finished on exactly 200.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's his 200th goal. It's his 500th.
Yeah,
His 500th appearance for Leicester.
yeah.
That
But
is
he,
that is
that
that
is
is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
there was. It's just that there was worries about whether he'd get it because obviously it was kind of like if you don't have it for you don't have it, but they were all hoping he'd get there. There was a bit of a worry whether he'd get it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty perfect. Finishing up on
Great send
200,
off.
around
Yeah.
200. It's about as good for a guy like that who was playing non-league football until he was about 24. Pretty crazy. But yeah, well done to him. Oh, don't worry, Ant will be in a pub somewhere in Leicester now celebrating it. They haven't had much to celebrate, so they'll be celebrating that.
Let's see. Fulham, by the way, I spoke on Fulham earlier. Shout out to Full America. And that's a little bit of tongue in cheek, I guess, the way that some of us refer to them here in America with the McBrides and the Dempseys that have.
You got it.
Hmm?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I said I get it. I get it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay, all right. But they have Manchester City to face next week. Wolves will be finding out what Brentford has to offer. I think the biggest game of week 38 has to be Forest Chelsea because look, that game has a lot riding on it with the placements, as we all know, 66 and 65 are the placements or the point tallies so far currently. Manchester United versus Villa, possibly a close second.
I think it's up there now, man. I think it's up there now. When I realized the maths on it, they're split down the middle. Split down the middle. Like I say, if Villa win, it doesn't matter what Forest do. But if Villa drop points and Forest nick them, yeah, they're the ones to watch. Get the whole split screen going for them.
Mm-hmm. I just think there's so much on the line riding for that, and I think Villa just mentally have a better coach. They'll be mentally more prepared.
Oh, they should do. They should beat them.
And United's United's United.
Yeah, they're toast.
Yeah,
they're only be thinking about that final. I'm assuming that final is after that game, right? The Europa final is going to be after the Villa game. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so they'll probably rest a load of players for that and shit. So
I'll even double check for you. Let me double check for the Europa final.
I don't know if they're selling them, Norm, but I definitely saw somebody put in the chat yesterday that Martinez is leaving. Like in one of those kind of as everyone knows, Martinez is leaving kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe it's.
Oh, by the way, Brian. Oh, sorry to cut you off. It's the 21st, actually.
So it's before that game.
Yep, it's before.
Yeah. Okay. That changes things a little bit.
Yeah, it's on Wednesday.
Which
is kind of weird, but Wednesday.
Okay.
Little hump day Europa.
We play on Monday. We play on Monday. Man City play on Tuesday, and there's Europa League final on Wednesday.
Yep.
Jeez, man. Okay.
Get your football while you can. Summer's coming. Get it in while you can. Hey, I woke up early this morning, and I went to bed early anyway, but I woke up early this morning and I found myself watching what games did I was watching Ipswich versus
Leicester.
Right, Leicester. And then what was the game before that though? There was a game before that I was watching as well.
Brentford, was it Brentford's game?
I believe so. Let me double check here. That's how sad it was. Because I just remember looking at it and I was like, here I can watch any game I want. So the package the subscription I have, I can watch any game, any Premier League game, I guess. And when I saw the games on here, I was like, oh man, this is kind of suspect. The teams are kind of suspect, as in the games. I'm like, ooh.
First game of the day was Everton.
Yes,
So,
Everton Southampton was the first game of the day, and that's what I meant. Like I'm sitting here watching Everton versus Southampton. I'm like, what am I doing? You know?
the lad scored 2 great goals, though. The
Yeah,
lad scored
they
2
did.
great goals.
They did.
Great goals. Lovely. The first one especially, but the second one was very clever.
Yeah.
Lovely goals.
Yeah,
Your
that was
boy
at,
as well.
I mean,
Did
that
you
was
see
4.
that?
That was at
Jared
4.
Bowen?
That game was on at 4 a.m. here, though, in the morning. By the way, so like, I caught the very tail end of that, but that was.
Did you see your boy Jared Bowen? Did you see his goal?
Yes, I did. That's the
What a
game.
goal.
That was
What
a
a goal.
phenomenal volley. A
Wow.
phenomenal
That
volley.
first touch to flick it up from behind, you so rarely see. That's something we all try out on the street. You never rarely see it. And then again, that flicking it up from unbelievable goal. Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, shoot, if he had done he was just one short of like doing a bicycle kick the way that Pele did it in Road to Victory. Is that what I think that's what you guys call it over there?
Yeah, escape to victory.
Escape to victory. Okay, got you. It's called Victory here in America. That's why it didn't have the whole escape to victory title.
Yes, and the sound effects on the music when Pele does his overhead kick does like that sparkly type noise.
Yeah, I think he chested it down, flicked it up to himself, and then like does like the bicycle kick or something like that. I think.
But he's had his shoulder collarbone broken or his arm broken on it by the roughhouse tactics of the bloody Germans. So to get an overhead kick with a broken arm, mate, that's legendary stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, legendary stuff. That's right. It's back when Michael
Keane. It all happened as well. It was all real. That was basically just a documentary.
It's a documentary.
It was just a documentary, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
With added footage for a bit of dramatic effect, but all happened. It's all true.
There you go.
I was reading the comment section before, and somebody mentioned Rocky Balboa, but they spelled Balboa Bilbao. It said Rocky Bilbao.
That was probably Bernie. She's had a few. Apparently. No, Bernie. No, I'm not saying, but no. Bernie said she's had a few with a few. She's been drinking with Everton fans today. Apparently.
Oh,
I don't know if that means she can't be a moderator anymore. I think we may have to have a look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be a little
sleeping with the enemy.
It might be, that might be a little FA Cups, suspension coming, getting dropped
demotion.
there.
Demotion.
Three game suspension or something.
I don't think sorry, Norm's just mentioned Jimmy Case, but the reason we bought Souness is because he squared up to Jimmy Case. Jimmy Case was a hard player, and Souness squared up to him when we played Middlesbrough, and that sort of cemented it in Bob Paisley's mind. Yeah, we'll have this guy. It was a wonderful transfer. I love Jimmy Case. Yeah, I've seen him on 60 Minutes. You can see his daughter. His daughter looks like she was on it as well. Also seen her on Sutton anyway. But he's a brilliant player, Jimmy Case. Apparently, it might have been that he liked the bevy too much. He wanted to move him on. But I mean, in that case, why wasn't Terry McDermott moved on earlier? Well, he couldn't have to ring Terry McDermott for a great player. Oh, he's so good, McDermott. But the amount he drank, to put it in modern terms, it's mental. The way players used to carry on years ago. But he did it.
Yeah.
And players smoking.
Yeah, there you guys go. A little
in the changing room at half time. It's mental, isn't it? I don't think that they used to do that.
You thought you wouldn't get it, but there you got it. A little remember when by Scouse Lee. Big up. A little shout out. And I was also going to bring up this too, real quick. Shout out to Nolante. He's joining us as well. He's on mute right now, but we'll see if he's with us. And when you are, I'll bring the question to you, Nolante. But I'll ask real quick to the panel. How do you see the end of the season falling out? How do you see 1 and 2? Or you understand that they're where they're at, but if you had to put 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and even 7th, where is that going? Where are they dropping into line?
Are you asking what my predictions are for the top
Yeah,
7?
it's only like basically
Okay,
a one.
yeah,
It's like a
well,
one. It's
I'll
basically
go
a
out
one.
on a limb and say City secure third. I'll say Villa managed to creep in the top 5, and I'm gonna go for Newcastle, but it's a tough order for them. Like now, they can still do it. But, I don't want. I'd love Chelsea to miss out. For one of City or Chelsea to miss out would be nice. Both I would have liked, but hey, you can't have everything, can you? So I'll say Newcastle, yeah, for the 5th spot, and then I'll say like Forest and maybe Chelsea up, and then Forest below them.
All right, so let's get this straight. I'll even let me see if I can bring this up.
Do you want me to recap? Do you want me to go through me 7 places?
Just do 3 through 7, but just say the teams. You don't have to give the explanation.
In 3rd, Manchester City. In 4th, Aston Villa. In 5th, Newcastle. In 6th, Chelsea. In 7th, Nottingham Forest.
Okay. All right. Nolanta, are you there? There yet? No. Okay. All right, then, Brian, how about for you? What would be yours if you had to put down? Tell us in the chat too if you want to make a, who gets Europe prediction. Obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal are cemented in at number 1 and number 2, but 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7 are all getting Europe. How are these teams going to fall into place? I have the table here as well for you guys, so hopefully you can see that. I'll bring this over a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I have a table there in front of me. I'm just sending Bernie the link. She wants to come on and explain herself.
All right.
Yeah, I will call it. I will say, just starting so I can make it easier for myself to read. So I'll go Liverpool first, Arsenal second. I think Man City will get 3rd. Newcastle will get 4th. Villa will get 5th. Chelsea 6th. Forest 7th. So I think the Champions League clubs are going to be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa, and Newcastle.
Okay.
I think Chelsea are going to miss out on top 5. So will Forest.
Chelsea and Forest miss out. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can wake him up. Nolante, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. What is your third? Welcome to the show, by the way. And also, what is your third 3 through 7 spots? And then we're gonna get into the Brighton. Get back into the Brighton beer.
Cool. I think me, Briley, we discussed this earlier. Funny enough, we discussed this earlier in the show. LSC Reds Forever. Go check out and subscribe. I'm going to change what I originally said. I'm going to go different. I'm going to change what City 3rd, Villa 4th, Forest 5th, and Newcastle 6th, Chelsea 7th.
Chelsea
No
7th.
consistency. No consistency at all.
I know, right?
No consistency. He changes his mind from show to show, from channel
I know,
to
right?
channel. He always has a different opinion. That's
All right. Let me see. I saw that Bonkers put in his shout. He said Newcastle 3rd, City 4th, Villa 5th, Forest 6th, and Chelsea 7th. Okay. Newcastle's got some work to do. They definitely have some work to do.
Well, they have Everton at home. That's their last game.
Yes, they do.
That's not a bad fixture. Not
Not
a
a great,
stone water, but not
yeah.
a bad fixture.
Yeah, I say Bournemouth, Leicester, Wolves, Brentford, and you. Yep. So saying, and then
Like
who
when
else?
you're in a scenario like that, when you're going for stuff, all you can do, like on last, all you can do is win your game and let the others mess it up around you. But yeah, all you can do is just go and win your game. Like Newcastle can do that, I think, and I think Villa. I still fancy Villa can go to Old Trafford and beat them.
Yeah, I
So
absolutely think so. It's going to be a big game. That game's going to be like it's going to be a very, very big game. And I don't think it's
yeah,
going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be a walkover at all. I think that,
no,
United will give a real effort into trying to hold on to some type of result for themselves in that game. But yeah, I'm hoping that Emery can prove me right on my earlier prediction. I was like one of the, I think I was like one of the, I was one of the few people that actually picked them to finish in the top four at the time. This is before we had the top five. I had them finishing at the top four actually, and primarily because I thought a lot of people didn't have them finishing in the top four. I remember because I remember because I was on the Coppa show, and I was speaking to Drifty and I was speaking to Cal at the time, and they put me on the spot asking me for my top four, and I put Villa in that top four. And when they said that, they said how Villa has a lot going on this year. It's like, it's very difficult for them to manage Champions League and also manage the league. At first, it looked like they were starting to be proven right on those predictions. It did not look like it was going to be an easy sledding for Villa. Not necessarily in the Champions League. They were doing well in the Champions League, but they were really, really, putting together some difficult matches in the Premier League. And then, but this last run has been certainly pretty exceptional for them, as
Yeah,
they've really, really done
I
well the
think
last
probably
game.
the Bayern Munich result would have been one of the best ones for Villa in the group stage, because it synchronises with their 1-0 win over Bayern in 82, same scoreline, and that must have been huge for their fans.
Yeah.
But you've had a good season to be able to qualify for the Champions League again and reach the quarterfinals. That's good. That's good with the squad he's got. Good stuff, memory, but you wouldn't expect anything less. The man's a skilled coach, isn't he? We've known that for a long time.
Yeah.
Regardless of how well he did it or not at Arsenal.
Well, I'll get back into this. Look, I said how there is a chance, depending on Chelsea's finish and the FA Cup outcomes, and obviously we just had that. The Seagulls will fight tooth and nail for this victory, I'm sure. And we've seen it before. They don't fear Liverpool at the Amex. We know that they play us for tooth for nail, as some people might say. Very, very difficult place to play, and they often have some very, very formidable players on their side. They won't have James Milner, or obviously Lallana doesn't play for them anymore, but they won't have James Milner to fend off our Reds in this one. But Brighton's late season form has been pretty exceptional. They have 7 points from the last 9. I'm going to take this down here. Welbeck has hit a 10-goal milestone this year. Talked about their European dreams are still alive, but also they have some real resilience against us. So I'll ask this: will Brighton's desperation outweigh Liverpool's quality on Monday? I'll ask up. Molante's not here, so all right. Well, then I'll ask Brian that question.
I sent you the link, B.
Hmm?
You asked me to send you the link. I sent you the link. Well, there. So,
Will Brighton's
I think it's
desperation
make for
outweigh
pretty,
Liverpool's quality?
make for a pretty even matchup. I think. Like, yeah, you've got, Yeah, a team with nothing left to play for, only pride, and like I said, uh, off the back of a holiday, 10 days off, best part
Mm-hmm.
of 10 days off,
Mm-hmm.
a bit of sun in the legs, the natural come down from everything. So yeah, again, like with the Chelsea game, I wouldn't be at all surprised if they had extra motivation to go and do something. So yeah, it wouldn't be. I'm not saying I want it to happen, or I'm excusing it, but I can see a scenario where it plays out and it becomes the deciding factor. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And what would you say? As a follow up question, what would you say is Fabian Hurzeler? What has he done to get Brighton peaking the way they've peaked so far this season? What would you say is the most notable thing you've seen from his coaching?
He's bought into what they do, what they like. Bought into probably what a lot of those players were brought there for. Um, I don't think he hasn't tried to change a lot. A couple of players that were big there last season, like Mitoma, hasn't been outstanding this year. Stupinan, before that, was outstanding for them. They haven't been top players, so I don't really know what's going on there with the drop off. But
Was it last season
yeah,
that they were in Europe under De Zerbi, Brian, in the Europa League? It didn't go that well for them, did it, Brighton? They struggled a bit in the Europa League. I can't remember whether it was last season or the one before.
You're talking about when they had the De Zerbi or
Yeah, when they had De Zerbi, yeah, and they were in Europe.
yeah,
I'm
they
just
didn't do
thinking
well
like
in
how
Europe.
Hurzeler's team might fare in comparison to De Zerbi's Brighton. But it's
yeah,
interesting for him with the shows.
yeah. I think he's kind of just kept it quiet, done not tried to change too much. They like to play kind of young coach, innovative, fast football type thing. That seems to be their vibe at the moment. And he's bought into that. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of them. They usually play entertaining football, but yeah, I think he's just kind of kept the train rolling the way it was.
Crazy that he's younger than James Milner. Is Milner 40 now?
Oh, nearly as near as it makes no difference. Yeah,
Because Thiago Silva got to 39, didn't he? But like, yeah, Milner's
and Millie wants a new deal as well. That was the
He
story I heard a
does.
couple of weeks ago. He wants a new deal.
Yeah.
He wants to go for another year. Feels he's up to it.
Yep, that he does.
I
39 years
wouldn't
young.
contradict him. I
Isn't
wouldn't
it?
argue with him if he said he
Yeah.
felt fit. I'm like, you know all about it, my friend. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be arguing with
39 years young. Well, I put in the poll, this in the poll here. I put this in the poll. I said, do Brighton deserve Europe this season? Do Brighton deserve Europe this season? Dustin says maybe. And
They don't deserve Europa League over Forest and the Chelsea on the league season, but they could deserve Conference League, which would be a good setting for Brighton. They struggled in the Europa League. That was the Europa League of a couple of seasons ago. I don't think they didn't struggle. They didn't get, their shortcomings were exposed fairly quickly in Europe. But like they could definitely find a trophy for themselves there in the Conference League. I think that could be a good one for them.
okay.
Saying that the Europa League is significantly easier now, isn't it? Like it's all of a sudden got a bit easier, hasn't it? That competition with Champions League teams not falling through anymore.
Yeah, and I don't even. Yeah, the Conference League is even worse. But big up Bernie. Big up Bernie. How are you doing today?
I've got to be careful. I've been out with the Toffees.
I know. I heard.
Oh yeah, but you know what? My dad, well, he's not here now anymore, but
Mm.
he started supporting them when he was 8 because he lived in Everton, the area of Everton, and he died when he was 88. So 80 years an Everton supporter. That's got to be worth celebrating, isn't it?
Yeah. Lee has a little bit of the same plight that you've had in your life as well, having a father.
Yes, but I didn't grow up with
supports-
my dad between the ages. My mum and dad got divorced when I was 7, and my stepdad's a Reds. That's where I got my football from. But then when I was 14, started seeing my dad again all the time, and realised that he was an Evertonian. That we both liked football, and Everton was his team.
Mhm.
And Arne too, my dad's uncle, was an Evertonian. So yeah, but my cousin on that side of the family, he's a Liverpool fan. So
Okay.
yeah, it's always mixed. It is mixed in Liverpool. Always families. You never find one that's like 100% Liverpool or 100% Everton. It just doesn't happen.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Sure.
You got
Well-
Everton broadband there, Lee. It's breaking up on you.
Have I?
No,
Yeah.
Lee. Not you.
Oh no, sorry. My dad, as I said, was a massive Everton fan, and he used to have this thing that he used to get the Liverpool Echo every day, but then he'd get the later edition just in case somebody had been signed, or transferred. He was like a big, sort of like into sport. Anyway, my mum bought an antique chest of drawers, and there was a yellowed Liverpool Echo in it, and it was like 30 years old. And my dad used to have this thing that no one could read the Echo until he'd read it. So it used to have to be put under this cushion on his armchair every night.
Okay.
Anyway, and if he knew if somebody had read it and he'd go mad, it had to be only he had to read it first. Anyway, we got this old yellowed Echo out of this chest of drawers, and we put it under the cushion on his chair for a laugh. And he came in from work, and he got the Echo out, and he said to my mum, "Sheila," he said, "Brian LeBone's come back to Everton," like 30 years later.
Yeah.
He was reading the original. He said, "I can't believe it. Alex Harvey's playing this Saturday." And he went through everybody.
Yeah.
And
He's like, hold on a minute.
and decimalisation had already come in, so everything was in pounds and pence.
Remember the pound notes, Bernie?
Yeah.
When you changed the pound coins, it became
Yeah.
no more the pound notes.
But my dad had read this paper, and there used to be like a department store in Liverpool. Lee'll know it, and Norm, called Blacklers, and and my dad said, "Hey," he said, "they're selling shirts for 29 and 11 in
He's like, oh, that's a steal.
Yeah, he went mad. He actually went mad when we told him, but he always took it in good faith. We were always he teased us, we teased him.
Yeah. So it's all about enjoying life, definitely. It's a great story. What do you think, real quick, before we move on to our next segment here? Do you think Brighton deserved Europe this season, or do you think we should go absolute? Maybe it's no way. Do you think they've just been fortunate?
I don't like to put a downer on anybody unless it's Man United, or Manchester City. But I wouldn't say they've deserved it, but they've played some good football. I don't mind. I mean, I'm going to sit on the fence on this one. I don't mind either way, really.
Okay.
I don't think they deserve it over Forest, let's say, to finish ahead of Forest, like in the Europa League places. I think Forest deserve at the very least Europa League.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If they somehow finished ahead of Chelsea, like that would make me laugh, but I don't see that happening. But yeah, I think
Forest have played better, haven't they?
Yeah. They deserve it more, I would say. If the words deserve, do they deserve? I'd say Forest deserve it for what they've done this season, and Nuno as well.
Yeah, that's the whole point of I guess of it is that some teams might be getting Europe but not necessarily. I mean, like, look, you're about to see a team in 16th or 17th place end up going to Europa, basically. You know, like, do I think that? I don't think anyone necessarily thinks that Manchester United nor Spurs necessarily deserve to be in Europe. But, you know, all things said, they've done what they had to do.
In Bilbao, the loser gets nested. They won't be in Europe next season, will the either United or Spurs? But the winner, obviously, takes the golden ticket, doesn't he, to the Champions League.
I've lost the plot on that. I haven't followed it. So could you tell me why Spurs or Man United will get it when they're so far down the league?
Because they've
won the Europa League.
By winning the Europa League, which UEFA
right, okay.
behind.
So if you win that, it's like if you win the Conference League, it qualifies you for the Europa
I've got
League.
it. Sorry, they're playing each other, aren't they? So whoever wins, we'll get
it's
it.
battle of the borderline relegation teams, basically. I mean,
but why Brighton? How did Brighton feature in it?
Brighton feature, we spoke on that a little bit before, but we basically Brighton's going to feature in it by
lots of
there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs. Like certain teams have to lose, and what was it like? Newcastle has to do something. It was like a whole bunch of ifs in there. Like Forest has to do this, and Newcastle has to do that, and Chelsea have to do this. But there's a chance if Chelsea wins. Basically, the biggest part of the equation is if Chelsea win the Conference League, which they most likely will, because they're probably the best team left in that tournament. But if they win the Conference League, they get an automatic berth into Conference League. However, if they end up in 5th place, let's say, or 4th place, they'll be going to Champions League, and that berth that they got gets pushed down a rank. So 7 becomes 8 because because they're not going to Conference League, that placement gets pushed to another team being able to go and represent. So
like your league position,
I know that sounds weird. Yeah, I know. Not easy. Go ahead,
your league position will always trump. Like, say, if you won access to the Champions League by winning a Europa League, but you had already qualified for that via your league position, that would open up that spot because your league position will always trump winning it by a cup. Like, say, if Palace had won the FA Cup and finished 3rd, that opens up, and it opens up in the domestic league. So, you've got a situation there where 2 of the teams that would have gotten into it just by winning the cup would be in it already, or one of the teams, and then you have to open, and they've finished higher. So, you've got and I think it's 8 teams, isn't it? Potentially 8 English teams could be in Europe next year.
Brighton can qualify for European competition through a Premier League finish of top 6 for the Europa League, 8th for Conference League, obviously, or by winning the FA Cup or Conference League. But Brighton's chances depend on finishing ahead of other teams, blah, blah, blah. But it ends up being basically like a lot of other teams have to, for it to end up, they have to finish 6 or 7, blah, blah, blah. But could qualify for Europa depending on the final standings. And the Cup winner, which we already know, that was whether if City had won and not Palace, but now that Palace won, that takes away that berth into Europa. So now it's Europa Conference League, which is really more realistic. Finishing 8th could qualify Brighton for the Europa Conference League if Chelsea finishes 7th and win the Conference League, basically.
This is it. I mean, to go to win it, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Betis have got enough to stop Chelsea. Chelsea's players are just the best.
They've got Anthony.
Yeah, I know they have.
Anthony.
I know they have.
Anthony's going to score a hat-trick. Anthony's going to score a hat-trick and whip out a Man United jersey and do all that weird trolly shit. Yeah.
He's done really well for that team, though. By the way,
He's been brilliant. He's been linked with all kinds of moves now because
Yeah.
their president came out and said that their priority for the summer is to keep him. They have to keep
Yeah.
him. So he's gone. He's rejuvenated. He's rebuilt his reputation there. And I'm not going to put it up because it's a PG show, but as I predicted, Ant is absolutely in a pub somewhere celebrating that
Have you get
200.
one in?
Yeah.
Well,
He's slightly merry. Let's just say he's the PG version.
There you
He's
go.
slightly merry.
okay.
Guys,
Well, I was. Mhm.
200
Go ahead,
shots
go
and 200 shots.
Go ahead,
Can-
Bernie. What's this question?
can I just ask you? You know that saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like you've just explained to me about what the equations are for different teams, you know, to get through to the Champions League or the Europa League. But you know that, do you actually think that this new system's better? And do you think that that system where we were winning, you know, we got so far along in the Champions League so we didn't have to go through all the stages. Do you think that's better, or would you prefer the old way?
I have an answer, but I'll allow for the panel answer first. Lee, do you have an answer? Or Nalante's back. Are you back with Nalante?
Yeah, sorry about that. Something happened, so I had to go sort that out. But yeah, back. Yeah.
What's your opinion on that? Do you prefer how Europe getting a place into Europe is set up, and how it's almost going to amount to possibly 8 teams getting into Europe? I originally I thought there was some type of cap on the number of teams you could get, but apparently not.
Yeah, I mean, it's down to the fat cats of FIFA and UEFA with their brilliant brainstorming ideas. Oh, what a joy to behold from them guys at the top. Oh, plenty of ideas, isn't it? Yeah. What we're going to do? We'll make something to make more money, more risk to players. Whoopie freaking do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's too much. Even back in the day in the 90s when he started doing free clubs, free clubs for the Champions League, I thought just couldn't defeat the object of the whole Champions league. But I mean but then you get used to it for a while, and then 4 I thought was obviously we've benefited for that, but 5 it just gets a bit ridiculous. I mean, 6 English teams in the Champions League. So it's like, for instance, if Tottenham or Man United, I'm just saying hypothetically, a horrible thought, they were to qualify in Champions League. Imagine them winning the Champions League next season. It just gets to a point where it gets a bit ridiculous. You know what I mean? But this is what they do. Anything for the moolah. Anything for the moolah. Good old notes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you smell something, 12? I smell money. There you go. The birdie's thing, yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
That's right, Bernie. My pleasure.
Yeah. I'm gonna put something in the chat or the private chat for
With an Atlante or me.
No, for Brian, just so.
Oh, for Brian.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Okay, all right.
For one very simple reason. Very simple reason.
Okay. I'm just saying that was according to that website. But okay.
It's a general misunderstanding because you know how we speak all the time about players in Spain who have to have a release clause. Like every player in Spain has to have a release clause because that's like the law there. It's the opposite in France. It's illegal to have release clauses in contracts in France. People use shorthand and they call them release clauses, but there isn't actually any player in France with a number that you can go and hit. So they say there are like someone said, gentlemen's agreements and stuff. But I only found that out earlier. It's actually illegal to have a release clause in a contract in France, whereas in Spain you have to have one legally. But technically, there is no, like, you put 20 on the table, you have to speak to them. No, you still have to speak to the clubs. The French, man, they like to do stuff differently.
Definitely. I'm sure they would love to do things dramatically different than England and Spain.
But apparently, he's come out today and said he's left. Apparently, he's made an announcement that he's leaving this summer. Apparently, so this guy is walking his own path. Do you know what I mean? He's just said, "I'm leaving this summer." It's like, well, dude, someone's got to buy you first. So
someone's got to buy him. But
ballsy move.
22.5 million is not exactly, highway robbery or I say highway robbery, excuse me, like a king's ransom, I should say. That's more like it, when it comes to prices for forwards these days, or at least attacking players. So there probably will be someone that takes not.
Oh, he's definitely, he knows it. He's come out and said it because he knows it's happening, kind of thing. But it's like I said, this guy apparently has let's just say no shortage of confidence in himself.
No, he shouldn't. He's a good player.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that. I mean, he's caused a bit of ruckus off the pitch before, so obviously he's like, okay, go.
There's different confidence and cocky. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I'll tell you this then, or at least I'll ask you this then, or speak on this. Ask you to speak on this. Trent Alexander-Arnold was booed at Anfield.
Boo.
Blamed for Arsenal's equalizer, and I think rightfully so. Now potentially dropped for the final games. Arne Slot says he'll focus on the collective. That's his exact quote, focus on the collective. But what's best for Trent, the team, and the fans, us the fans? That's the most important thing too. I have a lineup that I would like to see. One I think is possible, and then I have a lineup that I believe that the coach is going to go with, basically. So, but obviously, there's that quote about benching Trent for maybe some squad harmony. His reaction to the boos from fans versus Arsenal. Kwanzaa and maybe, or Bradley certainly, but Kwanzaa as alternative options. I'm sure this isn't how Trent wanted his Liverpool career to end. I definitely know that a lot of us, it's a bittersweet ending for a player that a lot of us have certainly are beloved and is a beloved player in a lot of our minds and hearts. But I'll ask this: should Slot start him to honor his contribution, or bench him to protect the team? I guess, in essence, with the vibes and harmony of keeping everyone focused for a win. I'll ask that of Lee. I'll go Lee, Brian, Bernie, and then Milante.
Yeah, I think it might be best what Brian says with Trent, that he has some sort of little tummy bug and sits this one out, Brighton. I don't know. Last night I said I didn't want that to happen, but maybe it might be the best thing now. To just make sure that the focus is on the game where it should rightfully be. I don't see that it would be a distraction massively, but it's taking the chance. We're taking a bit of a chance, aren't we? That it's going to be a bit of a distraction.
I agree with that.
Bit of a circus.
Well, I have Lee, Brian, Bernie, but I'll go to Bernie next, actually, since it's in that order, and then I'll have Brian be the anchor. Bernie, what was your opinion on this? Should Slot start him, or should he bench him?
Well, I think I've gone all the way around in a circle with this one, because to start with, I was annoyed, with him going, and then I came to the conclusion that the guy's given us an awful lot of time, and he's worked for us. We paid him, obviously, we know that, but he gave his heart and soul to us. So, I don't think he should have been booed. But even so, I always think, if somebody's leaving a company, if you put your notice into a company and then you're hanging round, you start infecting the people around you by telling them why you're leaving and how the grass is green on the other side.
Exactly.
We can't afford that. So I just think he should just cut him. Like a clean wound, cut him and let him go. Really, I didn't want him to go to the World Cup. I just thought because that's going to benefit Madrid, and I didn't see why we should facilitate that.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
But on the other hand, I just think that the sooner Trent is gone, the quicker we can concentrate on our future.
Okay.
Yeah, no reason for him to be here involved now. Like I said, everything up until the announcement video, Arne Slot can sit in his press conferences and everybody can sit going, he's a Liverpool player, and he comes in, he does his job on the pitch. But as soon as that I'm leaving announcement comes out, yeah, that's it. No need for it, especially after the nonsense in the Arsenal game. Parade, yes. Football, no. Connor can play, and when it gets to 70 minutes and Connor's gassed, he needs to come off. Bring on Kwanzaa. Don't care. There's nothing to be gained by playing Trent in any of these games. No chance whatsoever.
Won the league,
Nothing to be
haven't
gained. Yeah, they just leave him out.
He might. Let's be honest. He might not want to play himself. To be honest with you, because I mean, like,
I don't care. Exactly. At this stage, dude, I don't care. Both are done.
He could, in all realistic terms, the last thing he wants to do is, pull a quad or something, or, a hammy or something like that, or.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Players leaving.
And really, really, really impact his stance with moving on to Real Madrid. That'd be very interesting to see if if he were to pick up some type of knock or something and then have to and on top of that, a player like that isn't going to do exactly what you're saying. He's not going to put 100% into going into tackles or tracking back. Sure, he's already
they're at the building. He's got someone in his house now packing it up.
Yeah.
There's someone in his house right now packing it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of our history, not our future. So,
he's on Google looking at his new flat and his new apartment in Madrid. That's what he's doing right now. He's on the phone to people, setting up stuff in Madrid. Mm-hmm. This is where you're going to live. This is going to be your car. We've got that all sorted for you. This kind of stuff. That's his mindset right now. So, see you, man. We don't need you on the pitch for us. We need Bradley. We need Kwanzaa out there putting in performances, saying to the manager, saying to the fans, we're here to stay. We're the future. We don't need the distraction. And yeah, I don't care what happens to him from now. He's decided to leave us on a free. I'm not saying I don't care if he breaks his leg or not, but I mean, I don't mind about him not being injured. I mean, the club can be looking at certain players that they might be looking at selling, and they're not going to play them because they don't want them to get injured. Mm-hmm. You got that way. But look, we don't need distractions. We just don't need distractions. Mm-hmm. Let the future be what it's going to be. Let Trent go on, and at the end of the day, he can be at the parade. He can be at Anfield. Obviously, I don't get to tell him what he can do, but he'll be at Anfield. Going around at the end, applauding the fans, trophy lift, all that. Cool, but there's no need for him to be on the pitch. None whatsoever. Okay. I know Kwanzaa isn't a right back, Pops. I'm just saying, if we play Bradley tomorrow, if Bradley can only play 75 minutes, you can take him off. And let's just imagine a world, for example, where Trent did wake up with a tummy bug that morning and he couldn't play. You're telling me Kwanzaa can't do a job for 15 minutes? That's what I'm saying. You don't need to bring Trent on for 15. Yeah, Endo, Jones, whoever. You don't need to bring Trent on to do it. There's no need whatsoever to bring Trent on.
He's irrelevant. He's irrelevant to our game now.
The games don't matter. We've won the league. We don't need to win the game for 10, 15 minutes. Just bring on bloody Kwanzaa.
Doesn't exist.
Bernie's been hanging out the toffees now. She's coming. She's
Hey, who's number 66?
Go,
First.
go.
Yeah, what's his name? What's his name?
66
Thingy-majig. Yeah, that
Yeah.
player. Yeah, that person. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Anyway, we've got Conor Bradley. That's it.
no, but he is irrelevant. What's the point? We've won the league. What impact can he have on us now? Okay, he might have a
no
good
need.
game, but that's for his legacy. For him to think, "Oh, I played the last good game." For me, now I'll be honest with you. I just think I gave him the benefit of the doubt all the way through. I thought, we don't know. We haven't heard from Trent. We don't know what he's going to do. It's not fair to judge him. Now I feel like an absolute idiot because I think he's known all along, and the fact that when the other two guys came out and nailed the flag to the mast, they wanted to stay with Liverpool and sign a contract, and Trent never said a dicky bird to anybody. That makes me really now think, well, you know what, you wanted to go, here's your wish, go, just go.
Okay. Well, just go. Wow. Who thought that would be the way that he would end his career here? But just like Pops has said before, who the cap fit? Let's wear it. Definitely wear it. So, I'm looking to see. A lot of people basically just said what I thought they were going to say, which is, basically no. He shouldn't start. He shouldn't start. Should not be a part of it at all.
Look at what Dara's saying to you.
Trent is out car shopping. Yeah, there you go.
He's gonna get the SV.
I know. I'm gonna bring the next poll is how many times can Dara tell us that he doesn't do polls? Will it be 5,
1,
10?
15.
Yeah, there you go.
The poster.
180. There you go. Little darts there.
Well, how about the next poll? The next poll will be how many times Jude in Madrid says, "I love my Trent." Once, 3 times.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
bromance.
exactly. Bernie. Oh God, yeah.
I had a word in his ear. We knew he had a word in his ear. We were watching it all the way through.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into some more uplifting talk, and that would be on the fact that Mohamed Salah is on a silent chase for history. Something that's beside the chase for equaling, if not surpassing, Henry's record of assists and having the assist and goal tally in 1 year. Mohamed Salah might not be lighting up the stat sheet really in the last couple of games, and let's be honest, he hasn't. But make no mistake, he's on the verge of history. One more away goal. This is his last opportunity to do so, but one more away goal, and he sets a new Premier League record. And obviously, I said he's also chasing that assist record too. But this is an individual legacy moment for our Egyptian king, and it is something of an amazing accomplishment for him to have the opportunity of doing. I'm going to put this one in for. This one is the. Hold on 1 second. This is. Make sure I get this in here right. All right. Bring this up. This is the Dara special poll, by the way. This is brought to you by Dara.
Oh, wow. Dara, what have you been doing behind the scenes?
Yeah. Dara, it's a Dara sponsorship there. So
Dara's got his own poll.
He's got his own poll there. There you go.
Yeah.
Will Salah score at Brighton and break the away goal record?
12th.
Yes.
12th. Is this a Dara special poll? Is that what you're saying? Just to
Yeah,
one is
this was.
especially for
This is.
Dara's special poll. Wow.
Oh no! It's not just for Dara. It's just as a. This
Yeah,
is
no,
brought to
he's a
you.
man. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's gonna
this
love that.
poll
He
is brought
loves
to you by
Poe. He loves
Dara.
them. He really
Yeah,
loves them. He
yeah.
absolutely loves them. He really does. He's gonna love them, man. That's a lovely touch. That's a
Man,
nice
yeah,
touch.
yeah. Will Salah score at Brighton and break the away goal record? A would be yes. B would be no. C, he'll assist, which is more important anyhow. Maybe he's looking to assist more than he is to score. Because not many
Where's
people have
D
been
for
talking
both?
about. Yeah,
Where's
yeah,
D for all the above?
I know D.
Where's
I
the
know
D?
if I want D for both.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I saw Pops just dropped the D for pause, but dropped the both score and assists.
Yeah,
Boss.
why not?
But you add that off. You saved yourself.
I saved myself quick on that one. And Red Armchair Supporter said A and C. So basically score and assist. Everyone has, or not everyone, but a lot of people have them scoring and assisting. Bonkers is saying no Connor starts. I got that. That's from the last question. So he's had a drought in 5 of his last 7 games, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Motivation, despite teams switching to cruise mode, I guess you could say. I'm sure he's thinking of the individual opportunity to add to his legacy right now. A midfield that's going to be certainly different. A Trent Alexander-Arnold who's not supplying a lot of his opportunities to break forward and get on the back end of a scoring burst. Does Slot owe it to Salah to keep him in for personal milestones in this one? Does he deserve to? Because this is an away match, and the likes. But should Salah get a full 90 minutes in this game just to maybe get the opportunity to get that milestone? I'll ask that of Unilante first, actually.
No.
Okay.
I'd rather him just come off the bench. He's had, I know there's still 2 games and it just hasn't happened the last, like you said, 7 to 8. I'd rather him just come off the bench and just like Chiesa or just someone else start. Can come on within 20.
He might be more dangerous off the bench, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just rather that. It just hasn't happened for him. But it doesn't matter anyway. Last 5. I'd rather you come on the bench and then try it that way. And in terms of the poll, the away goal record, I'm assuming it's the most away goals in the season. Is that the away record? Okay, cool.
He has
Is it the most away goals or the most away games scored in?
No, he has 16 away goals.
So is it the most? It's probably the most away goals, not like the most away games scored in.
Not the most away games, but it's the most away goals in general.
In the season. Okay,
he could have
cool.
2 away goals in a fixture that equals up to.
Exactly. No, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's not a kind of it's not a game. Most games scored in. It's most numbers wise because they're probably pretty close, I'd imagine. But
yes, yeah. Salah has 16 away goals this season. He needs 1 more. He needs to hit 17 to set the record.
My feeling about tomorrow's lineup is that there probably won't be that many surprise inclusions, in as much that we've been away at this rest now and that, and he might just come back and say, I should play my strongest team. He's probably I'll play the one that I favour playing more often than not, and just stick them all out together and see what we get.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying again, he might see it differently and decide to try Harvey again, but maybe with different midfielders. I just don't know. But
maybe he throws in Chiesa.
Yeah,
maybe I might fly.
Yeah, in the number 9 as well.
Yeah, maybe I hit the lottery today. Yeah. Go ahead, Barney.
Yeah, can I just say, I know I've got a blinkered view of Mo, maybe to others, but I wouldn't care if he was lying on a sunbed next to the goalpost, filing his nails, and then just jumped up occasionally and tried to get the ball into the back of the net, because he's the only one out of the team that can do that, as far as I'm concerned. My problem I've got with him is that he's decided to be too kind, and and try to give too many assists because he's trying to improve the other players' games, which he's actually said that in an interview. He thinks now, in his own philanthropic mind, he wants to help Sloboslai and help the other players, and Nunes and Diaz and Gakpo, to get their goals in. And I wish he'd be a bit more like the Olmo, a bit more selfish, and just get the goal at the back, the ball in the back of the net first, and then try and assist the others. But I wouldn't leave him on the bench. I'd always have him on the pitch because he's our best weapon.
Okay. So we got Nalante, got Bernie's, got Lee's. Now, Brian, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I'd start Mo. Yeah. No reason not to. Gives
Can
you,
I-
if you have someone like him in, you can say, right, well, put him in. So we got a few cornerstones, and then you can make changes around that. But I'd start him anyway. Give him at least an hour to play. But yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward one. I think we're probably protecting Chiesa in terms of, like we spoke about earlier on. If we have plans to sell him, probably won't be putting him on the pitch where he can get injured. That's just the way I'd read it. So Mo will start. Like I was saying earlier on, I think if we were to do anything, like rather than give minutes that will be fairly meaningless, other than on a personal level, to players who aren't going to be here next season, I'd rather us start a game. And I don't mean this game tomorrow in particular, but I'd rather see us start a game with a Rio and a Neone on the bench and give them some minutes. I'd rather give Rio 10 minutes than give Chiesa 10 minutes if you know you're selling Chiesa. What's the point, really? You're just kind of fluffing things up a little bit. But yeah, I think Mo will start. And yeah, he's got those little milestones to go for. I hear what Bernie is saying. He's been criticised before. He's always been criticised, Mo. Always been criticised. Sometimes for not being too greedy, or all of that. But he's just been phenomenal. Like you say, really this season without him, it's not great up top. Without him, it's not brilliant. So yeah, keep him on the pitch, and then after, like, if Chiesa doesn't come on from what do you do? Can we get Frimpong in 5 days early? Give him a shout down the right wing. I don't know, because I can't see Chiesa, man. Jeez, I'm not going to be shocked at all. Well, someone can tell me he's travelled. Will we have travelled by now? Yeah, we will have travelled by now. Someone will say, yeah, he's definitely there. But I wouldn't have been at all surprised to see he wasn't even in the squad tomorrow, because that's the way it's worked out for him. So, sometimes he's on the bench, sometimes he doesn't get on, sometimes he gets 10 minutes, sometimes he's not even in the building. But I play it that way. I just give those. I'm expecting Brighton to give us a tough game, so I don't expect there to be many last minute minutes for kids. I don't expect that to be a thing tomorrow. But like, just say for instance, you knew that you were going to sell Chiesa to Napoli in 3 weeks' time, and there was 20 Premier League minutes available. Why would you give those to Chiesa? Why not just give it to Rio and Guma? Give him a bit of a taste. So.
Okay.
If it come on, wouldn't it be for Rio? Wouldn't it be fantastic to see him come on in the last game, maybe, and get some minutes?
Yeah. I'm going to show you some ideas as to what I would love to see going into tomorrow. I'll bring up this as So this isn't the lineup that I expect to see at any real moment.
It's your lineup. Mhm.
Yeah, this if I could
Trent
put together.
Alexander-Arnold be in there, definitely.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I would like to see this lineup be, especially since it's a case where I don't necessarily believe a lot of these players are mentally here. They're somewhat on the beach already, but I'd like to see Chiesa up top, Lucho, Elliott, Salah, possibly our four most creative players in the front four, and then have McAllister and Endo in a pivot, and then have Bradley, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, and Robbo as your back four, and Ali obviously in goal. That's what I would kind of like to see. If I couldn't get that, then I would probably, if I couldn't get Chiesa up top, I would then say drop him to that 10 role and get Nunez in there as the striker. But I will say this is most likely going to be the lineup that we're going to see. I have Salah, Lucho up front, Cody on the left. I have Jones in the 10, Endo, McAllister in the pivot. I have Robbo, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Bradley, and Ali in at goal. What is your lineups that you'd be most likely seeing be demonstrated in this matchup? We'll start with Lee. What would be your lineup?
Well, I'll just say, for me, if Chiesa was going to start in the 9, I think I'd prefer to have Gravenberch in the midfield instead of Elliott, and I'd push McAllister behind Chiesa to try and give him a bit more of a chance of scoring than that way. I'm not saying Harvey won't create nothing for him, but I think if I was going to play Chiesa, then I'd want Gravenberch in the team as well. As far as centre-back goes, I think he might give Joel another game, actually, because it's needed. He needs more time, like plays. So it makes sense to play Joel again, I think. Simicast might play instead of Robertson. But yeah, for me, I think he's going to go pretty strong, if not like as strong as it gets, as in his favourite 11 players, his first choice 11 players. I think he might do that. I think there's a chance he might do that tomorrow. He might think, oh, do you know what? There's 2 games left. Let's try and do it in style, like, see if having our best players on the pitch all together at once can coax a performance out of them, like that's up to a level enough to take the victory.
Okay. How about for you in the latte?
Kells in goal. Bradley, Ibu, Kwanzaa, Simi, Endo, Mac, Elliott, Chiesa, Odie, and Lucho through the middle.
Bernie?
Well, I was just going to ask, is Gravenberch, is he injured?
He's available. No, he's available. I just didn't have him playing.
Yeah, he wasn't in either of your teams, was he? I think I'd have to play him. I wouldn't leave him out. But I quite like your first team, 12th, with Chiesa at the top and Elliott to see what he can do. So I'll go along with your first team, but I probably would. I'd probably take Endo out and have Gravenberch in.
Okay. Brian, what's your scenario?
I would. I hadn't really thought about it, but then Nolante said it earlier on. Someone asked me, so I think Keller is finished now this summer. That's going to be the end of his Liverpool career, so I think he deserves a game. And I think Ali should get the final game at home in front of the home fans. So I would probably see, I'd actually start Kelleher in this game to give him one last hurrah, as it were. But after that, I would go, other than the left back, it could be Simi or Robbo. I don't care. I'll just say Robbo. Then, so I'd start Kelleher as his basically last ever league start for Liverpool. Then Bradley, Ibu, VBD, Simicast, so Robbo's rested for next game. Then Grav, Dom, Mac, Gakpo, Diaz, Mo.
I like the Kelleher shout. I would save that for Anfield, to be honest with you.
But that's the thing, you see, I think he's going to get a game, and I think Ali should get the game at Anfield. If you're going to get the start, I think he'll start.
Yeah, you're most likely not subbing in a goalkeeper.
Yeah, so I give Keller that one last game tomorrow night as a starter. That's where I'd give it to him. Just as if I was the manager, that's the way I'd play it and give. But someone else could say, no, give Ali and let Keller start at home in Anfield. Yeah, cool. I'm cool with that too. As long as, but I think he will definitely get one more game. And like you say, you're not going to like sub Ali off after 60 minutes to bring Keller. That's not going to happen. So
no,
he definitely deserves it. So either tomorrow night or Palace, yeah, but I think tomorrow night I'd do it that way.
Okay. I'm looking.
And then full strength after that, just basically full strength. And give people coming after that. But yeah, Pops, you can sub him on. I know you can sub him on, but I'd like to give him a start, I'd like to start him. I'd like to just say, no, I wouldn't like to give him 20 minutes. I'd like to start him.
There's a dramatic difference in scenarios, I guess you could say, for starting Trent Alexander-Arnold as opposed to starting Kelleher. Kelleher is not going to garner boos, despite him being openly saying that, or apparently, quote unquote, openly saying that he wants to, push on to different horizons for his career. I think there'll be plenty of people out there that aren't going to have the kind of response that.
Well, he doesn't want to leave us, but that's the difference. He doesn't want to. Right. He'd rather stay, kind of thing, if he could.
Right.
That's his one. But yeah, I think he deserved to start. Definitely, just one more. He's more than earned his medal. Doesn't let us down. So I can see him playing tomorrow. Might not be the last time he plays for Brighton in the Premier League, or at Brighton in the Premier League.
Maybe it's not the last time. Maybe he plays for Brighton next year.
That's what I mean. Yeah. He could be back there next year.
Could be back there next year. Possible. Let's see. I also did have a lineup. I don't have one set up like this on an actual graphic, but I did have a lineup for. Let me pull that up there too. I did somewhat have a prediction as to what we'll probably be facing. I had Verbruggen, excuse me, Vifer, Dunk, Van Heck, Estupiñán, Baleba, Ayari, Minta, Pedro, Mitoma, and Welbeck as their starters for Brighton. I don't know if anyone thinks that there'll be something different in that lineup or not, but that's what I have predicted as a possible starting lineup for Brighton that we'll be facing. It could end up that way or not. Look, we're Premier League champions, but we're also winless in 2. We've conceded some sloppy. Brighton has something to play for. It's not crazy to suggest that the Seagulls could fly past us tomorrow night. I think this will be probably my first time picking us to lose. I'll say that because I unfortunately can't pretend that this team is on the bench or on the beach, excuse me. And while some of our supporters can write that off as part of the spoils of winning the league, it is a disappointment to me, to be honest with you. But my projection is Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. I'm hoping Liverpool can prove me wrong. My Reds, I hope you can prove me wrong, but that's my prediction. What is your prediction on this game? Let's go with Lee, Brian, Bernie, and then Nalate. Lee, what's your prediction for the game?
I'll say 3-1. I'll say 3-1.
Okay.
To who? Like
To who?
To us, Liverpool.
Okay.
Or 1-3, rather. 1-3.
Okay. There you go. That's better. Brian?
Desmond.
Okay. Bernie?
well, I'm going the opposite. I'm thinking that they'll all be on a high after the party.
Hmm.
So I'm going the opposite. I'm going to say 3-0 to us.
Okay. Nalate?
Tell you what, 3-0, Bernie. I don't know what you've been having in that pina colada, but yeah, some of the players, but
Oh, you wait till tomorrow night. You never know.
if you do that, I'll buy you a bit of roses, Bernie. How about that? There you go. You know what? I had a feeling Brian was gonna say Desmond. I think high scoring game where we're gonna be half of it, but I say 3-2 to us.
See, Dodger agrees with me. You lot are all miserable.
Because Dara's too busy chilling in the Arizona sun.
You just reckon that with the poll.
Yeah. Poll number 5 from Dara.
No, but Pops, just quickly, Pops. I said that if somebody like Trent, who has decided to leave the club and has already decided to join another club, is in the squad, then there's no point having them look to the future with Bradley and stuff like that. That's completely different to someone like Kelleher, who isn't forcing his way out of the club, isn't turning down a new deal, knows he's probably going to leave, but not entirely his decision and all that, is still 100% committed to the team, isn't already on the books that somebody else he can play. That's not the same as Trent. I know what you're saying as, oh, someone is leaving. No one has come out and said Keller has been sold. Nobody has said that. So Trent is gone. We don't know Keller is gone. Keller, I don't think you can put him in the same basket as, oh, but if someone is leaving, then you shouldn't play them. So why can Keller play if Trent can't? You know it's a completely different scenario. One of those guys has decided to leave. One of those doesn't really want to leave, but has taken it on the chin and accepted that it's probably the future. Because guess what? He thought he had a chance of replacing Ali. He plays really well. And guess what? What do? We go out and spend 30 million quid on a new goalkeeper. So he accepts the reality. It's very different giving him one last go this year, one last game, than me saying, oh, but why not just play Trent for 90 minutes? I think, they're completely different scenarios. At least I think they are completely different scenarios. Kelleher will not be, he hasn't got like one foot in Madrid now. He's still here. He's still prepared to play for us. And that's all I mean. I think he deserves it. I don't think there's any need to play Trent. He's given us all, it'd just be a distraction. Whereas Kelleher, if he is going to leave, then at least make sure we give him one last shout in the Premier League to go out and show his stuff for us, because he deserves it. He stepped in massively when Ali was there, out injured this season. He was a big part of what we did. So
I'm a little bit annoyed that it's come to this, that the kerfuffle over Trent was so much that we have to consider not playing them. But if it's come to this and it's the best thing, because we're only setting ourselves up for trouble if it does, if it doesn't work out. Say we used to get booed again, say like a bunch of them booers went to the away game and decided, right, we're going to do it again.
Yeah, that's another thing is that that's going to be very, very tough to see. If considering that it's one thing if you're at home, where obviously there's a good number of fans, but the percentage of fans.
Some plants. If Sky have put some plants in there to do booing, like Gary Neville can be one of them, mate. He'll be in the stand booing, and then he'll like start coughing and go, oh, "That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was that fella by me there. That Scouse fella."
Okay.
I don't think it's doing our reputation any good, actually. We're getting called for, you never walk alone, and we're letting Trent walk alone and this sort of thing. So I actually think it would be better just to let him go as quickly as possible. And for any fans who were going to boo, have got that opportunity taken away from them because...
You ever said our fan base was on a pedestal? That's other people putting that on us going, oh yeah, you think you're so fair-minded, you never were.
But it wasn't us that decided this.
It wasn't around pretending that I don't say nasty things about footballers and that because I do, because I'm passionate about football.
Yeah, but we don't normally openly criticise our own players. Do
no, we don't. Unless you're a content creator online. But all the same, that is no holds barred.
The season was finished. But I suppose he wanted to take the chance, didn't he? He's took the chance and it sort of backfired. But another thing is, there was just as many people clapping or neutral. As, there were more. It's just that it stood out, you know what I mean? Because people were ready for it and wondering, was it happening? And yeah, it did.
Lee, can I ask you, do you think it's 12th's fault because he let Max destroy the whole team in one go?
But I did when he came on and got booed. I wanted him to get an assist or score, and he come close, so he could get the applause. You know what I mean, and have the last word, because then that might have been the last time we seen him, and he would have had the last word. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Put his fingers to his lips or anything to do a shush.
He already had his last say at Leicester.
Aye.
That was his case, Sarah moment, whatever will be, will be.
But again, but because the announcement wasn't thought out fully, then again, it wasn't as bad. But because he put the announcement and the timing, and we kind of know, so it's the timing, so that's why it's become a sideshow. It's become a distraction, really, which it really shouldn't be, The focus is us within this Premier League and lifting the club, but he's done what he's done. Whether it's calculated, etc., it is what it is now. We just get on with it. It's just down to Slot how he deals with it. I mean, I personally think he's going to play in some part of Brighton and Palace, and the fans you can't control 50, 60 plus people in the crowd. That's the thing, and it's kind of annoying because we'll go back to lift it and they'll be like, oh, Trent's getting booed again. It's like, it's just, so it's a difficult one. So only Arne Slot can decide what he's going to do with it. So
it all me match going here is considered booing one of our own players, but I've certainly shouted out, "You're shit." You're shit, insert name here. Several players. Oh, such and such, you're shit.
You're a bag of fuddly.
Yeah.
So you're shite, and you are. It's like you, Lee. That was you when I was in there in 1994.
You old sinner.
Yeah, I'm a rebel, Lee.
No, can I just say that I went to one of Jimmy Case's last games at Anfield, and I was in the front row on the Kenny stand. Well, it wasn't the Kenny stand then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but you know what? He was playing rubbish, and a black cat ran onto the pitch, and somebody behind me shouted, "Get Case off and keep the cat on."
was laughing because I was watching. There was a program on CTV about all our songs, and one of them, where the song, it just said a cat ran on the pitch, and the coach started going, a cat, a cat, a cat, a cat, a cat.
Yeah,
It just made me laugh.
I bet Norm can tell you how many was in the crowd and what the names were.
Yeah. Oh, mate, some of our songs from years ago were funny, like Mike Summerby, and he had a son, Nicky Summerby, he had a really big nose, and we used to sing, I'd walk a million miles to the end of your nose, Mike Summerby, oh, Summerby.
It's all right.
He was at the game yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah. Before we get too deep into that. All right, let me make sure. Okay, I got the team set up here. I'm gonna ask you guys do a little trivia to end the show off here. I'm gonna make the team Brian and Bernie versus Lee and Nalante. And the chat, you guys. So turn off the chat if you have the chat open. By the way, chat can play along too. But yeah, just tell me when you're ready to
wait.
When you're ready to rock and roll.
Cool.
Lee and Nalante versus me and Brian.
Yeah,
Barney,
the way it's set up.
how many glasses of champers have you had?
Exactly. The two bees.
Yeah, put it
Two
this way,
bees in the
Brian.
bird's body.
Brian, you'll get the final say. Just let's say that.
Oh, hey, dominating.
All right, yeah, there you go.
Lee, you better
right,
behave yourself, Lee.
Yeah. How it's going to work is you get 2 points for a right answer, and then if you get it wrong, the other team gets to steal, and they'll get a point if they can get it right as well. Okay? So we'll just go. There's only 10 questions, and I'll have a final question as a final
10 questions each or 10 questions?
No, this is 10 questions altogether. It's not a big trivia. It's just 5 to each team.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Heads or tails, Latte?
Heads never fails. No, sorry, it's tails never fails. Heads. Sorry, heads, please.
All right.
Yeah, why would it rhyme like heads never fail? That's
I know.
What are you like fucking Biff Tannen or something?
Okay.
I know, Brian. I know, Brian. All right. Jeez.
Brian, I know. Brian, Bernie,
do you want to get the coin toss taken off for that?
Brian, do you want to? Brian and Bernie, do you want to go first, or do you want to let the other team go first?
We'll let those big heads go first, shall we, Brian?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So this question is for Lee and Alante. All right. Make sure you have to say final answer because I'm not going to.
Listen, Lee. Are you ready? You tuned in. You tuned in, Lee.
That's it, Lee. Yes, that's it, Lee. I like the focus.
Yes.
Raise the focus, Lee. Lovely, Lee.
Have you got the chat turned off, Lee?
I'll do that now.
Yeah, he's doing it now. Yeah, see, he's doing it now. See?
He's dialed in.
See?
Please dialed in.
I've done too many quizzes with this guy. Yeah.
It's gone now. It's gone.
That's it, Lee. You're the man.
Get in there. All right. This is the first question for you guys. This question, there's no multiple choice. Just got to give the answer. All right. Who scored Liverpool's winner in our 2-1 victory over Brighton earlier this year? Who scored Liverpool's winner in our 2-1 victory over Brighton earlier this year?
Yes.
Your answer has to be final answer.
Okay, let's compare a little here. Was it Cody? By any chance?
No, I remember. I think Cody scored the equalizer. It was Mo.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Final answer.
Okay.
The man himself.
Mr. Salah would be correct. Mohamed Salah did score the game winner in that 2-1 victory over Brighton. So,
what's a goal it was?
That's right. That is 2 points. All right. Double B. All right. Your question is, what was the score the last time Brighton beat Liverpool in a Premier League match? What was the score the last time Brighton beat Liverpool in a Premier League match? Not League Cup, not FA Cup, just Premier League. I'm only asking for the score, too.
Do you know when it was, Brian?
No.
I think I actually have it in my mind's eye.
Don't say it. Don't say it out loud. Don't
Lee,
say it.
no, Lee, don't say anything. No, don't, Lee, no. We'll keep it. Keep it,
Keep it,
to ourselves.
because you can steal.
Keep it.
Don't get
Keep
it
it,
right.
Lee.
Oh,
Let them
God.
guess. We'll discuss.
What is your answer? What is your answer? I
I think we should
see.
keep thinking out loud. That's what I think.
Yeah. Norm, Dara, you are correct.
Barney, I do not know. I do not know what these games. This stuff is my kryptonite. I don't know these things.
Yeah,
I
well, I
couldn't
said
tell
to you,
you that.
I did say to you,
I thought 3-2. I thought 3-2 was the first thing that came into my head. Was 3-2. Do you
What do you
have
want
a
to-
memory?
I'm trying to
Do you have-
think. I'm just trying. I know they beat us, didn't they? Because they had a good team.
Well,
there.
it's the last time they beat us. What was the score in the league? Yeah.
Oh, in the league.
We only have to guess the scoreline. We don't have
Right.
to say when it was or
Nope. Where it was,
know.
when it was. Nope. Just the score.
I think they beat us 3-something. You said 3-2, Brian.
3-2 is what popped into my head.
Yeah, I
It was
thought.
like instantaneous. I don't know this, but
Well, I
that's
thought it was 3-0. I thought we got.
okay.
We're going to have to press
No,
you for
yeah.
an
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Let me ask. No, so no, I'm supposed to
answer?
give the. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
supposed to give it to Barney. Do you want to go with 3-2?
Yeah, go on. I'll go with 3-2.
Okay, so 3-2, final answer.
That would be incorrect. Okay, you have a chance to steal. Nalante, Lee, what's your final answer?
Was it
Lee.
1 when Robbo scored an own goal and Gravenberch hit the bar from really close in when he should have scored, and then they won 2-1?
You thinking 2-1, Lee? I'm thinking either it's a 3-1 or 3-0.
3-1, you know. That's what I was
Or
thinking.
3-1. Or 3-0. 3-1 or 3-0. That's what I'm thinking, Lee.
I think we scored first. Or at the very least, we equalised. But I think
They don't get all night either. Come on.
I
They
know.
don't.
Yeah, I'm at to press you for an answer.
Yeah,
Lee?
3-2. Sorry, 3-1. 3-1.
All right, we'll go
Final
3-1. Yeah.
3-1.
All right, Lee, we'll go 3-1.
That would be incorrect. It would be 3-0.
I said 3-0.
Yeah, you did. I
Oh, you
know.
didn't get it, but
You did.
Barney, if you know, if I say I don't know, then it's if you even have a slight inkling.
How much to take it?
Brian,
Was not the game in which Robertson scored.
I know about stuff from the 80s and like about Czech football. I don't know about.
It didn't
the
happen
last
that
time.
long ago, by the way. It happened.
No, but I had the
2000.
worst. I can't tell you where I was 3.5 days ago, man. I had the
Okay,
world's
all
worst
right.
sports.
All right, that's
I'm
understandable.
terrible.
all right, Brian.
All right. I know. Dazed and confused, Brian. All right, got you.
Today is Sunday.
No, we're just joking with you. All right. So now this question is for you, Lamate, and you, Lee.
Okay.
Let me make sure wait, hold on 1 second. Make sure that the question is not asked twice. No, we're good. Okay. Which Brighton player scored a brace against Liverpool in a 3-0 win in January of 2023? And in that very same match. That's why I was thinking it was double.
So that's the game you're just talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which Brighton player scored a brace in that game? What Brighton player scored a brace against Liverpool in that 3-0 win in January of 2023? And it was at the Amex.
Well,
This, I'm thinking two players here. I'm thinking Pascal Gross or Solly March.
yeah, Growth. I was thinking Growth or possibly Welbeck. But more likely Growth.
No. Oh, someone else shouted that answers in the background.
I know.
Hey,
She was just shouting Jason Tyndall. She was just shouting Jason
trying
Tyndall.
to remember that player's name, Solly March, and cause I hellers like
Yeah,
as hard as I tried, I could not remember Solly March's name.
I remember him. Sorry, yeah, it's one of the two. I know Welbeck didn't score. I'm sure he didn't score praise against us.
Should we
They
go
draw.
Growth?
You know what? Oh, Gross or March.
What's going to be your answer? I'm gonna put a 30-second clock on these answers too. So
Okay, Lee. I think we'll go. Forgive me, Lee. I think we'll go Solly March. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay
All
with
right.
Solly March.
All right. Final answer.
Okay.
Solly March.
Solly March would be correct.
Okay.
Solly March.
How bloody standing, Alonso. How bloody standing.
Yeah, I kind of remember the game. I was one of the two. Yeah, appreciate it, Lee.
There you go. Big up, JK. I see JK chilling. Very
Listen, JK.
You know, how you doing, bro? How you cool?
We need you on our side, JK.
I know. We might have. Yeah.
Do I have to pick a team?
What is 12?
Yeah, I know.
You're not watching the sidelines now at this stage. It's already started, so.
Yeah, exactly.
There'd be war if somebody got a third player at this stage. We're 2-0 down.
I'll be a spectator.
Yeah, they are. Actually, it is the score right now is they have 4-0 is the score. Okay. This is for Bernie and Brian. Who managed Brighton during their last win at Anfield? Who was the manager of Brighton during their last win at Anfield?
Was it that guy, Brian, who went to, was it Graham Potter? The guy who went to Chelsea, was it him?
Last time they won at Anfield.
Yes, who was the manager of Brighton?
Because they just said there, like, that thing, that 3-0, they were saying that was at the Amex.
That was it. Yep.
So, can you remember them beating us at Anfield?
I'm trying to think of it. It was. I can't. I mean,
No, but can you remember us beating us at Anfield? Does it feel like, then it was like, a couple of years ago or something? Or
I could be the phone the brethren.
Was it deserved?
Yeah. That's it.
You only get one. I could be that guy. I don't mind.
Brian, was it Derby?
All right, I'm gonna need an answer. 30 seconds is now up. I'm gonna need an answer.
Do you want to go Potter?
Well, I think it was Deserby, but I don't know.
If you think it's Deserby, okay, yeah, we'll go Deserby. Final answer, Deserby.
That would be incorrect.
Was it Graham Potter?
I don't know. It's now Lee and Alante's chance to steal.
Lee, I guess we gotta go Potter in it. It's gotta be Potter. You want to go that, Lee?
I think we lost to them when Virgil was out, and we only had bloody Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. I think we might have lost to them at Anfield then. Was possible.
Yeah.
Was still there because Tuchel was still at Bayern. Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah, because it's got to be Potter. Yeah, because Chris Houghton was before, but we never lost to them when Chris Houghton was in charge. So it's got to be Potter. Yeah, let's lock in, Lee. Final answer, 12. Graham Potter.
It would be Graham Pollard is the answer.
I said him first.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I asked you,
know this. Keep going.
I gave you the option. You changed your mind.
I know.
That was so
Not
amazing.
two
That was,
beans, honestly.
that was the
You're only around in
combination. The pub
Yeah.
quiz.
You know what,
Yeah.
JK? Get yourself in there, JK. Help these two out. They're going left and right.
I'm letting Brian sway me too much on this.
Yeah.
I let you choose it was you.
Oh no.
It's
Oh,
your
no.
answers as well. You know what I
There's
mean?
B-
JK, get involved,
No.
please.
No.
Put some order to both of them, JK.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
beef
JK,
in
we
the
need
house.
your help. Come on.
Yes.
I'll do one
Hard.
that,
We're
Brian.
giving it to these other two nitwitted. We're giving it to them. They're not even trying.
The 5-0 up.
They were
Wow.
big heads at the start, and now they're nitwits.
Now
Oh,
the
no.
nitwits. I got you. I
Where
got
you
you.
two? You don't know where you're coming or going,
All
you
right.
two.
Show no mercy. Show
Shots
no
from
mercy.
Barney. Shots from
Sweep the
Barney.
leg. Sweep the leg,
Yeah.
guys. Sweep the leg.
Brandon doesn't know
All
where
right.
she's coming or going.
Okay. This one is for Nolante and Lee. Who has the most? This is for Nolante, Lee, and for Pops, if you're still with us. Who has the record for most away goals scored in a Premier League season? Who has the record for their most? Who has the record for most away goals scored in a Premier League season? Currently tied with Mohamed Salah. So you can't give Salah as the answer, by the way.
Lee, what were you thinking?
Oh, apart from Mo in the Premier League era,
Could be Ronaldo, Cristiano, could be Favavum, Mr. Favavum. You see the totos and they here. It could be him. Oh, could be good old Alan Shearer.
Yeah, Shearer's a good. Oh, no, I'm not on your team.
I do say. Give it away, am I?
TikTok.
Shall we go? Probably. You know what? Should we go leave with Mr. Favavum?
Mr. Who?
Right.
I know.
Can you remember this advert with the Baba-Boom? He did one of those French car adverts, didn't he?
Yes. The Fiats. Fiat Bravo.
Renault's
You going with?
Fiats are Italian.
Who's your two?
You keep fucking
Who's your
shit
two?
up tonight.
Yeah. Who's
Bro, I
the
think
two?
you worry about your answers, mate.
All right, I know. Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Hey, let's bring it down level. All right, who are your answers? Who's your final answer?
Lee, should we just lock in with Favavum? Should we look at with them? Yeah, probably
and
one.
I'm going to give you both. I'll give you all since it's. If you say there's two answers to this, so just so you know, there's two people.
Oh, it's two, is it? Okay, so but we just.
But I mean,
could
like,
only...
if you're just going to give me one, I would give you credit then.
Okay.
Can we have a go at the other one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll give you a second. Let them. Maybe they get both. Who knows?
Oh, are we guessing both or just one answer?
You can just give me one if you want.
Okay. All right, Lee. We'll lock him. We'll lock him. Yeah, we'll lock it in, Lee. Shall we?
What is it?
Thierry Henry.
That would be incorrect.
Perfect.
All right. So now,
So Barney,
yes,
it's
you have a chance to steal.
most
I'll even give
away goals.
I'll even give you 2
Premier
points
League.
if you get.
I
if you get.
think, Brian, I think it's Harry
You get both.
Kane. I think
Say
it's
that
Harry
again?
Kane.
So why did they get both?
I mean,
One
I'm just
answer.
kidding. I would have given
No,
you.
because he said.
I would have given. I said one, but I'll give you. I would have given you next one too. If you got both of them, I would give you 3 points. But
He didn't give me the option.
Questions are
Said one
changing.
answer.
I said you can take one, if not two. But I got you.
Oh, Paul Lou said
Yeah,
that.
after they've been thinking about it for ages. You just
Hey,
said
you- You two running around left and right. I don't know what answer to give. Oi, carry on
All
and get
right,
your dad. Get your answer. You
yeah.
two. Stop focusing on us.
No, Barney. So
Hurry
Barney,
up.
Barney, I was thinking
Yes,
two
Baba
people.
boom an answer here.
I think
Okay.
Harry
Yeah,
Kane.
you were thinking Harry Kane. I was thinking Jamie Vardy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shout.
Do you want to do one or two on this answer? Do you want to do one answer or two?
Well, just because Barney's been, Barney She'll be annoyed if we don't go with her first one. So, her final answer, her first answer was Harry Kane. So we'll go final answer Harry Kane.
That would be correct.
Yay!
There you go. There you go. For laughs and giggles, can you name the second person, JK? He named the other player. Harry Kane did this feat in 2022, 2023, if anyone's wondering. Right? Or no? I'm not giving the answer. Oh, JK's on. JK, can you give it the answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna think, bro.
Do you mean apart from Mo?
Yeah, it's Mo Salah has 16. Harry Kane has 16.
Someone else.
And then there's a third player. There's a third player. And I know we do need a shot clock here. Dara did get it right.
I don't know, bro.
Okay.
Which you only mentioned to the boys after 3/4 of the question.
I know.
There was another. We didn't realize there was a third option.
I know.
I would guess Andy Cole.
That being correct. Kevin Phillips.
Oh yeah, that big season he had, he scored like 31 goals.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's feeling someone strange, someone that we weren't going to think of. Like,
City, Kevin Phillips.
No, when he was
No.
at Sunderland,
No.
he scored.
Yeah,
He won the European Golden Boot at Sunderland. He didn't just win the Premier League.
partnership, didn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he scored 31. Okay. He scored 31 or 32 in the league that one season. He was just ridiculous.
Okay, so now that was a point for you guys.
Yeah. So it's our question now.
Yeah, it is your question.
Is it?
Yep.
Question.
Your question would be. I gave away part of the answer, so you got to get this. I'll just truncate it to just the first part. What was the year that Kevin Phillips set the record?
Oh fuck! What? Oh shit! Who
did he play for?
Sunderland. It's like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, okay. Well,
it's between 94 and 97.
This when they won the Milk Cup the same year.
It was when Reed was manager. Peter Reed was the manager.
Oh yeah, he played for Everton, didn't he?
94.
Stood on the cop, played for Everton. Stood on the cop as a support.
This is a big one. You guys can get back into this match if you get this one. What year did Kevin Phillips score 16 away goals? What season? What season was it?
I know it's like burnt. It's between the 94 and 97. It's like it's 94, 95, 96, 97. It's that kind of.
I think it's later than that, Brian, because I remember.
It's no later than 97, 98. Can't be.
I would have thought it was 99, because that was when someone from Sunderland got the Golden Boot, wasn't it? Was that him, Kevin Phillips?
Well, yes. This is the whole thing. Yeah.
I think it's 1999. That's my thing.
So 98, 99, as opposed to 99, 2000. It's 98, 99 season.
I think it's
as opposed to 99, 2000 season.
I think it's 99, 2000 because.
So which answer do you require, 12 man? If we were to give you one, would you require to be 99, 2000 or 98, 99?
I'll go with Brian. If you think it's that, Brian, I think it's the year later, but go with what you say.
You'd have to phrase it.
Say the full one, yeah, either 98, 99 or 99, 2000. You can't just say 1999. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think it was.
What? So you're convinced it's 99, 2000?
Well, yeah, because Peter Reed was the manager, wasn't he? So
okay, 99, 2000. Final answer.
Final answer would be correct.
Well done. Okay, fair.
Outstanding work.
Outstanding.
Well, I had late 90s in there, but I was thinking more 98, 99 myself.
Mm-hmm. I gave away the other answer by telling you when Harry Kane. Originally I had it as two. King tell me that both years that they'd said it, but I already said Harry Kane winning.
Hold
Harry
on,
Kane
pork
did it.
chops.
Who's Paul?
All right. I don't
I know, yeah. Who the fuck is Pork?
All right. This one is for this. We only have 3 more questions or 4 more questions left. So let's just rock through these real quick. This is for Nolante and Lee, and possibly even JK. Or actually, no, JK should be playing for that team. All right. Brighton's first ever Premier League win over Liverpool came in which season?
Oh.
And you have to put it in the same way that they just put the previous question.
Brian's first win of Liverpool.
Like 1999, 2000, or 24,
98,
25.
99, 2000.
No, I'm just saying you have to put it in that form.
Yeah, I know the season. Yeah, I know. Let's think about this. 18, 19, 20. COVID.
I think
No,
we
they didn't
lost
beat.
there when we were defending the title.
Yeah, I think you're right, Lee. You'll think so. You
had a penalty on Welbeck, Robbo on Welbeck, and they got a pen.
So you're thinking so you're thinking the 2020, 2021 season.
Yeah, 2020 to 21, because I can't remember them being in the Premier side from that.
Yeah, they were before. I remember we played them 18, 19, and then when did they get promoted? Not long. I don't know if it's 17. Yeah, all right. Shall we find we're locking that, Lee?
Yeah, we'll go with that one. The title defense of 2021. And it was away.
Final answer, 2021.
2020 to 21. Yeah. Should we look that in?
That would be correct.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well done.
Well done. All right, this one is for you guys, Bernie and Brian.
Thank you.
How many goals has Mohamed Salah scored against Brighton in all competitions?
Oh my God.
Oof. Jeez.
In everything.
All FA Cup, League Cup. Yep.
Oh. This could be anything.
Well, it's going to be a big guess.
Yeah.
He's been with us 8 years, has he, Brian?
Yeah, they've been in the league most of those seasons. I don't remember us. Probably at least one cup game. At least one cup game. So you're probably talking 15 games. Probably be a decent estimate. He's probably played him 15 times. On a high end. Let's just say
God, it's a lot.
half a goal per game, just under, on average. Maybe there's a hat trick in there somewhere, but I'd say 7. I'd guess 7 would be high. I'd guess either 6 or 7, unless he went and banged a fucking hat trick against them, and then did normal numbers, which makes it like 9 or something. But I don't know. 7 on the high end. So either 6 or 7 for me. Yeah, either 6 or 7 for me, Barney. What do you think?
I think it's higher than that, because if it's all
higher.
Well, it's all competitions, isn't it? So it's not just the league. And I think
How many times have we drawn him in the cup? Not that often.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to give you any hints.
I just want to ask him. I mean,
I'm going to go between 10 and 12, Brian.
Oh, well, between 10 and 12 is 11. So if that's what you want to do.
I think it's more than you've said, because he's been with us for 8 years, and and it's not just 8 seasons. If it's the competitions as well, and he's scored in nearly every game hasn't he? So I think
11. Was you happy with 11?
Yeah, I'll go with 11.
Okay, 11. Final answer.
Final answer would be incorrect.
Oh,
What would be your answer,
Good guess.
Lamont and Lee?
What you think? What you thinking, Lee?
Sorry, I zoned out for a second. I was looking on my
Okay.
phone.
Go ahead,
Wasn't
Nalante, just give me a guess. Just
Alante,
give me
Yeah.
a guess.
Alante.
It's on your own, Nalante. You can ask
Oh,
AK for help on that one if you want. But go ahead. You're on your own.
No. They don't get a new player. No new players. No.
All right. Tell me what your answer is, if you can. We only got two questions. I'll try to.
I think it's single digits. Oh god, competitions in there. Oof. You know what? I'll go with 8 as a guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah, final answer.
Well, it was 10 that we were looking for. 10 goals
Oh.
is what he has. That was a very good guess by Bernie. She said 10 to 12. She was just one off.
Yeah, we nearly went
One
over
off.
10.
thanks, Brian.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it's now. I gave you the final answer. I said you want 11. You said yes, go 11.
Brian's a nice guy, Bernie. The two B's, you know, gave you the floor. Brian's always been a gentleman in his day.
Definitely so. All right, here's the last two questions I have for the preliminary round here. Who scored Brighton's? This is for
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee. If you need
Lee.
to tune in, this is
Tune
your
in
question.
here. Who scored Brighton's stoppage time equalizer in the 1-1 draw at the Amex in 2020?
Oh,
COVID.
Pascal Grossberger.
I think it's Pascal Gross.
Should we go for him?
Yeah, why not, Lee?
Yeah.
And the Amex, Pascal Gross, yeah.
What year was it?
2020.
COVID.
2020. The COVID.
No, COVID was over then, wasn't it?
What year was it in 2020?
No, that was.
What year was
it in 2020?
What year in
It was
2020? What month? Sorry.
It was in.
Month,
Yeah,
sorry.
it was. Give me a second. I'll tell you which word.
Why are we
Yeah,
doing
sure.
hints now? They were about to answer. They said Pascal Gross.
I know. You said Pascal
Listen,
Gross,
I'm just
right?
hey, Brian. I'm just asking for
Pascal
the
Gross
what month. That's all.
Is locked in. That's their locked in answer. It was November 28th, 2020 was the
Okay, so just when COVID was getting restricted. Okay. Yeah, should we just look?
You went with Pascal Gross. That's your answer.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
no, I
There's
was
no-
going to say, Brian, we can't say anything. We can't confer with those listening. You know what they're like.
Yeah,
cheap.
You'll be happy to know that you are correct. It was Pascal.
Yeah,
He scored a penalty.
Oh, nice one, Lee.
It was a penalty, wasn't
It was a penalty. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, last question of this round. Okay. Which player, this is for Bernie and Brian, which player has played for both clubs and is still an active member of the team in the Premier League?
it? Brian, is that Milner?
What player has played for both clubs and is still an active roster member in the Premier League? Meaning he's on the roster. It doesn't necessarily mean he starts or he's on the bench or
in the squad. Like
he's
in
injured.
the squad.
Yeah, it just means that he's on. Yeah, he's on the team. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes these are too easy. But that's obviously James Milner.
Yeah, I think it's James Milner. Because as what's his name moved, Lallana, has he gone to Southampton? Has he?
He was coaching the last time I saw him. No,
think
it's Milner.
They just extended Milner's contract, haven't they?
No, he wants a new one. No, it's Milner. It's obviously Milner.
Yeah.
Final answer?
Milner. Final answer, Milner.
James Milner would be correct. Milner won't be available tomorrow, but he is still active on the roster and is looking for an extension. As Brian, we've spoken at yesterday too, but Brian mentioned it again today. James Milner. So that would be points for you guys. Let me put those 2 points down. All right. So that would mean that you guys have a total of 5 points. Nalante and Lee are looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 points.
What?
They are killing it right now. So this is the final Jeopardy style answer. Tell me how many points you want to wager up, and then we'll go that way. I guess you guys want to go all 5?
5. Well, yeah, 5.
What are we betting on? Is it
Just final? It's the final Jeopardy style answer. I have a final question. And Nalante and Lee, how many points you guys want to put up? You want to make it interesting? Say,
put everything up.
Yeah, put up everything. What do you guys want to do?
What do you reckon, Lee?
We can only get 10. They already have 11.
Put up 2 points. How about that? Put up 2 points. How about that?
Yeah, put up 2 points. Yeah, put up 2.
Oh, look at him. He's like cool on Luke, because he thinks they're going to win.
That's the wager. So if they get it, then you both get it. Then Nalante wins. Nalante and Lee win. If
how can they win? They've cheated, Brian. They've listened to.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? It's absolutely shocking.
It is.
Yeah, well, you two went around like the 2 Beavers and Butthead.
This is how we're going to have to do this.
Jeez, Beavis and Butthead. Did you hear that? Beavis and Butthead. He just said.
How very dare you?
This is how we're going to do it.
We're
gonna have to do something like I'm trying to think how did we do it last time? I think it was if you guys can if Bernie and Brian can mute their feeds.
Oh
so
yeah.
The question. Okay. That way, I'll say the question for both of you, and you can give an answer, and then I'll get your answer, and I'll tell you which one is right.
So Bernie, can you mute the sound so you can't hear what he's going to ask the lads? Because you're going to ask them the question. They'll give their answer.
Well, you keep yours on, Brian, so you can answer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he
I'll
can just make like a hand, but he'll make a hand signal or whatever to tell us. So I'm going to turn my on mute now. Okay, I'm on mute.
Okay.
I'll mute you.
Okay. Right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
Bernie, can you hear me still? Okay. Good. All right. This is your final question for the chat too as well. In Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool, which future England manager was in the Seagulls starting 11?
Which future England manager?
He could be an assistant. He could be the main guy. He was a manager with England. That's all I'll say with that.
Oh, he's part of the coaching staff.
He could either be the coach or I'm just saying he's part of the coaching staff. He could be the coach. Could be.
But he basically he played.
Mm-hmm.
Future England's manager coaching setup, and he played. Lee?
Sorry, ask me that question again. My mind bloody wandered something shocking then. I can't even remember where it wandered to, but it's back now. What was
I got one word. Tracy.
the infinite question, isn't it? Like the infinite problem for me. The thought that I just can't banish ever. Hardly. Sadly. What is the question?
The question is, hold on, let me bring back up.
Can we come back in?
No, not yet.
No.
I'll give you the quick answer as well.
Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool. Which future England manager was in the Seagulls starting 11?
The manager was in the Seagulls.
The old facey himself, Gareth, wouldn't it?
No. Brian's first Premier League match, right?
Future England manager.
No, it wouldn't.
Arsenal bloke, was it? The ex-Everton player. Was it him?
No, it wouldn't be him. He didn't play for Brighton, Lee.
What else has managed England recently? And it's not Sam Allardyce. It ain't Roy Hodgson. I think Thomas Tuchel.
He was a coach. He was the head coach. Okay.
As a coach.
In Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool, which future
I think
England manager was in the
I
Seagulls
think I know
starting?
this.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong. It could be, I'm assuming, it could be Peter Taylor. Because he was, again, he's saying manager / head. You said he was a head coach. And Peter Taylor, I'm sure he played, I could be wrong, played for Brighton. But I know, obviously, he was caretaker manager for a while. Wasn't, but that still classifies as,
Yeah, that's still classified. That's still
yeah.
Still the manager.
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby.
I'm gonna need a final answer. We need a final answer.
Should we? Are you happy, Lee, to look in Peter Taylor? Might be wrong, but I'm thinking it's him.
Okay, let's go Peter Taylor.
Peter Taylor would be incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me see if I can get it.
Yeah,
Brian.
okay. Are we back?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me unmute Bernie.
We back? Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez, how long was that question?
I know, that long. I know.
God.
They were going through.
Yeah.
They were going through the cycles on it. They were going through cycles.
Jeez.
All right. Here, I'll try to give you just the same amount of time. In Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool, which future England manager was in the Seagulls starting 11? Just a proper. I tried to make it a proper final Jeopardy question.
Gareth Southgate didn't play for them, did he? Brighton.
Say that question again.
In Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool, which future top flight,
not Premier League, not Premier League, top flight. Okay,
right,
top
right.
flight.
Oh, bloody hell! I thought you meant Premier League. I League.
I said top flight. I said top flight. I didn't say Premier League.
Yeah, so it's not Premier League yet.
Which future England manager was in the Seagulls starting 11? You have an opportunity to win the game with this answer.
Okay, Bernie. Right. Let's go back. England managers, right?
Well, I was just saying Gareth Southgate.
That stage, Glenn Hoddle.
Oh
no. Not Sven, obviously. Not Capello. Not Tuchel. Not Southgate. Steve McLaren. Graham Taylor. Kevin Keegan. Hoddle.
Norm, is that your answer, Norm?
Brighton.
Tell me. Where's the Polster Daragon? Where's the Polster Daragon?
Who else is there, Brian? There's going back into who was there before?
He was getting a lot of questions, yeah, right?
Oh,
Terry Venables.
Brian, didn't Graham Potter? Didn't he manage England for a little bit? And he played for Brighton.
Potter?
Yeah.
No.
You're sure?
Graham Potter didn't manage England. No.
He's not doing the England job, Graham Potter.
Yeah, but wasn't he a caretaker manager for a bit?
No.
Caretakers do count, by the way. Caretakers do count.
Oh, caretakers count. Oh, future England manager, Brighton.
Yes. In Brighton's first ever top flight match against Liverpool.
That's got to be the 80s.
Which future England manager was in the Seagulls starting 11? All right. You're coming up on about the same amount of time as they did, by the way.
Doesn't feel like it, but
I know, probably doesn't.
I'm sure Graham was the interim manager.
If it's this interim stuff, yeah, but that'd be It's too long ago. It's
Okay.
too long ago.
Brian, I don't know who this guy played for, but do you remember Lee Carsley? He's taken them over for a bit for England. Who did he play for?
No problem, Tara. I'm about to do the same.
Derby as well as Everton. I think
Look at Lee helping out with the answer for you
Lee,
guys.
let them leave them be.
He's the person
Speak
that
for themselves, Lee.
Go on, Lee. Keep going. Thanks.
I don't, Barney. I want to go Terry Venables. That's what I want.
Oh, Terry Venables. That's a good shout. But did he play for them though, Brian?
I don't know. Because I'm just thinking England managers since then. I can name most of them, and I can't think of any of them that might play for Brighton. I think it's either, for me, it's either Glenn Hoddle or Terry Venables. Unless it is this fucking bullshit caretaker Graham Potter thing, or I think even then it's too long. But I'd go Terry Venables.
You're still the coach.
No, I know. I wasn't calling the bullshit thing. I was just saying, like, I'd go Terry Venables.
Who did the lad say? Did they say Peter Taylor?
I don't know who they said.
Yeah, we said Taylor.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Lee.
I'm back. It's just saying itself anyway.
I know, Lee.
Well, Bernie, what do you have? What's your? My final answer is Terry Venables. I don't know what yours is.
Okay.
Well, my final one was going to be Graham Potter, but I'll defer to you.
No, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. If you want to go Graham Potter, go Graham Potter.
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but that's the only one I can think of because I think he was caretaker manager.
Final answer.
Final answer is Terry Venables.
Oh,
Terry Venables. Okay. Well, you'll be happy to know that Graham Potter was incorrect. Terry Venables. Who'd you guys say? You said Taylor, I think, was incorrect. Venables. That's what you said his name was, right?
Yeah, Terry Venables was
incorrect.
Oh.
December 1982. We're getting to the DeLorean. That's the one we first played them in that was the first ever top flight match against Liverpool. In that game, a Howard Wilkinson was in the starting 11.
Howard Wilkinson. Wow.
He has also been
Wilco.
Yep.
Wilco, yeah.
He's also been.
But 12. Nolante was only 40 then.
Yeah, there you go. There, he had other things going on back then. There's why. Yeah.
He couldn't remember.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Bernie. You were about 75 then, but you couldn't.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm a lady, darling. I'm a lady. You don't talk to a lady.
Yeah, I like that. Exactly.
Hey, this is 2025, Bernie. Think of it.
Can anybody tell me this just for laughs and giggles? Hey, JK.
Can I turn the comments back on?
Yes, you can turn the comments back on. The comments had Graham Potter as being the answer for a lot of people too. Dara.
Potter? Why would they say Potter? Way off.
No, it made no sense. It made no sense. That's what I think. It made
Graham Potter was Norm's answer too. Alan Mullery was Bonker's answer.
Alan Mullery.
Because he gave the game away. He gave the game away when you reacted when he said, "No, it's top flight, not just Premier League." He gave the game away. That you hadn't realised that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he's way back.
Alan Mullery, did he play for one of the London clubs? Wasn't he a Cockney guy?
Yeah, he played for I think Fulham or Tottenham.
Yeah, I know Fulham.
Yeah. Howard Wilco.
Wilkinson, I'm trying to think what he looked like. He looked like an old man from
Yorkshireman.
Won the championship.
Started fair air actually. Like when he won the league in '92 against Fergie, when we beat United at Anfield, and it's showed you the Leeds players all sitting there chatting.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Gary
Yeah, I was
McCann.
watching that the other day.
Yeah. And they were all celebrating when we won, which was great.
Yeah.
First time Huddersfield scored against United.
Lee, you sounded like Cilla Black.
Wilkinson played in. Wilkinson played. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say Howard Wilkinson played for Brighton between 1981 and 1983. He made 13 league appearances for Brighton during those years.
Oh wow! I was just going to say Lee sounded like Cilla Black then when he said the girl with the fur hair. Do you remember?
Yeah. Here's a quick recap from our Graham.
Yeah.
She was all right. She was okay.
All right. I was going to ask you, what team did Wilkinson lead to a first division title?
Oh,
Leeds.
Leeds United, yeah, 92.
Yeah, he won the last first division title before it became the Premier League. They were the last team to win the old first division.
The old one. Yeah.
Wilkinson handed them it by beating Man United. I watched that the other day. I was laughing at Fergie at the end when Fergie still used to wear like that coat, that black coat instead of like a suit.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Let me see this is Nottingham Forest. But all right, people, we are going to be ending our little bit of our fun little romp through trivia history, and also going to allow for you guys to enjoy the rest of your Saturday, if not Sunday. If not, okay, all right. Maybe I did get that one wrong. Maybe it wasn't Wilkinson. Norm is definitely trying to make sure that he is heard. I hear you. I have it as the Google had me put it as Wilkinson. Maybe I was incorrect on it, but he was a Brighton player, and he also was a player for the Seagulls.
Well, Charles, you should know by now that Norm knows more than Google.
I know that.
I think Google employed Norm to do the stats.
Yeah, I know that for sure. Let me think of 1882. So I was going to say we're going to be doing could be it's like the second to last roll call. It's crazy that we're on the second to last game. That's pretty wild. But we will be doing a roll call tomorrow for the game. The game starts at 8:00, correct? So we'll do a 7:00 roll call. Hopefully JK, who I think is still with us here.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that?
No, carry on, bro.
No, I was going to say because we're going to be doing. Hopefully, he'll get us a nice little thumbnail. Or actually, he already got some thumbnail made for it. I have it ready, and we'll be doing a little bit of a walk-in style of getting into this Brighton matchup. You want to throw out a quick score prediction, by the way, to add to everyone else's?
I'll go with a 3-2 to us.
Okay, 3-2. Okay.
JK's in Germany at the moment, hypnotising Florian Wirtz, telling him to go over.
We can only
make
hope.
him an English cup of tea. Say, you want more of this? Time for Liverpool.
And a bowl of scouse.
Oh God! Send me a recipe.
Don't turn him off. Come on, seriously.
I'm going to
English tea and a bowl of scouse. Come on, no, jeez.
There you go. Well, all right. How about I'll let everyone give a final shout to everyone. So, JK, you want to say good tidings to the chat and to the
Yeah.
panel? Go ahead.
Yeah, bless up the chat as always. Norman, Dara, Bonkers. Good to see you all, man. Always a panel as well. Top show, bro.
Okay. All right. Nalante?
Yeah, big old chat. Obviously, Dara and Norm are itching to get into the next quiz. So Norm, don't be shy.
Good
Yeah,
competition,
don't
bro.
worry. Don't worry. No one bites. Norm, come on there with Dara and get yourself on the next quiz because I can tell you two are itching with those questions to get on. Big up the chat, big up everyone. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a show live. I don't know, pre-recorded for LFC Reds Forever. So go check that out. Just some little bits and bobs, and yeah, keep supporting 12. Brian, JK's got his channel out. We discussed it. I'll let him decide when he'll come out, and he's already got the slot out. Und Wiedersehen, und fight und viert und t-shirts out. And there you go. Big up everyone. Premier League champions, and we move. Good night.
Okay. Bernie, do you like to say anything to the chat and to the panel?
Well, I'd like to say Dara was bragging, saying that he was grilling a steak before. But what that means in Arizona is he's just said take the horns off and throw it on the barbie. You know?
There you go.
Oh, good night, mate.
Only that's Australian, definitely. No, I'd just like to say thank you for putting up with me because I have been a little bit tipsy tonight, and but not too bad. So thank you. That's it.
You feel so
You devious one, Birdie. Behave yourself, eh? You kept it PG, Birdie. Well done.
Hey, I've been hanging out with toffees, don't forget.
Yeah, that does demand a few drinks, doesn't it? Like to go over it.
Yeah.
I know plenty yourself anyway. Like, I know where you're coming from with that.
The blues.
All right. Brian.
No, I've just realized that keep an eye on Serie A because we have a potential, unlikely, potentially, Serie A could be decided by a playoff this year. Napoli and Inter blew their chance tonight, drew 2-2. Napoli drew 0-0. Napoli are 1 point ahead of Inter. If they finish level on points this season, will be an actual playoff to decide the Serie A, which is crazy. But a bit of Inter throwing away a 2-1 lead last minute. One eye on them.
I have
Marco
to say,
Arnautovic missing a fluff chance. Marco Arnautovic, how is this guy even still involved at the highest level? But he is. That's Italian football for you.
Arnautovic, forgot about him. Yeah, I forgot he was there as well. I have to say to Norm, I googled a load of pictures of emu just for the laugh, like, and the early emu was different than the emu from like the 80s and probably from the 70s. I think when it first popped up, it looked a little, not radically different, but it had a bit of a different look on top of the head, the emu, from the one we know and love.
But did you see that one with Parkinson where he came on? Was it Rod Hall? Was it?
Yeah, Rod Hall. Yeah.
Have you seen it, 12? Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I did.
He has absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
No, well, it's if you can imagine, like not a ventriloquist, but he had a puppet, but it was huge. It was an emu, and but he just ran right with it. You know, he'd peck at everybody that he came into. I don't know if
he was on the word. He was on the word, and Snoop Doggy Dogg was on it, and Rod, like emu, was attacking Snoop Doggy Dogg, and he laughed a bit at first, but you could see he was thinking, "Cough, will you?" You know what I mean? I'll have this thing under my foot in a minute. And Mark Lamar like made a joke one, a fake emu that looked like rubbish and that, like, and he brought that out. But it was quite a funny episode. Emu and Snoop Doggy Dog.
Well, Parkinson would be. What would the American be? Dara probably know. You know, in to Parkinson, what was the guy's name? David Letterman or somebody like that. It was somebody who used to interview all the celebrities, and he was he did have a good sense of humour, Parkinson, but he was also the best interviewer at the time in England. And this guy goes on with the puppet and absolutely destroyed him, didn't he? Had him on the floor and everything. You know, you've got to watch it. It's on YouTube.
I'll have to watch it. You have to send me a link for it. I'll take a look. I still got to watch. As I was just saying to Norm, I still got to watch Max's Britain's Got Talent little expo. But
yeah, it was something I genuinely enjoyed when I was a small boy, and then as I got a bit older, it wasn't as funny anymore. Like, but Emu was very funny to me when I was little. Like the faces that it pulled.
I'll definitely take a look. Okay, Brian. Brian, did you say give a piece out?
Yeah, thanks for everyone to spare everybody. My one's gone black on everyone else now for a moment, but yeah, Jared, all the usual people. But we've got a show tomorrow. 8 o'clock is kickoff, so 7 p.m. will be roll call, pre-match game, the usual stuff. Only 2 more games left, so yeah, definitely go ahead.
Have you guys got anything planned for when the end of the season comes to keep your fans going? Have you got anything planned for those?
Electroshock therapy, yeah.
Every day there'll be a transfer speculation, won't they?
There will be, most likely.
That's what it's going to be like.
Transfer bullshit day.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
Exactly.
If we haven't, we'll make one up.
Yeah.
Kindle's on his way.
Do you know, I listened to, like
Sunbed rating shows, Sunbed tier list show featuring Jason Tyndall.
You know, the way you do get some like reputable, like us, really just shooting the breeze about, possible
You
transfer.
consider yourself reputable, do you? Okay, fair enough.
Well, apart from hanging out with
exactly
the likes here, yeah. The likes here, yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
You don't want to mention names.
Yeah.
They were talking about Florian Wirtz, and they were saying that, even though nobody thinks it's going to happen, even though, we're all too scared to say it could happen, they said he has had talks with Liverpool. And although everyone was saying, oh no, Bayern Munich want him, apparently the guy from Leverkusen has said under no circumstances would they ever sell him to Bayern Munich. They hate Bayern Munich, so you never know.
That's what I heard. Mm-hmm. But I've also heard his dad's a bit of a fan of Bayern.
Oh, is he?
That's what I've heard. So that's the only sort of. But I just feel could be.
His dad is his agent as well. His dad is his agent. That's when people said we met with his family. It was like, no, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
We met his dad because his dad is his agent. So technically, but they were trying to say, oh, we met with his family. It's like, no, come on. We didn't. That's not what happened. It's not like the whole Wirtz clan came to Liverpool. Oh, this is where we'll be living next season. No, it's just his dad is part of his family. We met with his agent. So, that's the way they word it. Make it sound like it's something bigger than it is. They met with his family. Wow, that must be a big thing. No, it's just we met with his agent. He just happens to be related to him.
They're saying he had a meeting with us, but do you think if it's been us and
plenty of time to talk about that this week.
Pardon?
Probably so. Yeah. No, I was just saying that'll certainly be the Wirtz thing. Will definitely be on our radars for all of us to figure out and work on deciding. But I just wanted to say, tune in tomorrow for the Reds roll call. Also, tune in later this week. We'll probably end up talking about this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. probably this will be certainly a hot topic that will definitely be recurring as well. We're going to end the stream, but be sure to join us tomorrow. Please do tell a friend to tell a friend, as they like to say on the Beijing Reds show. And we will, as always, say this: up the Reds, and hope to see you soon. Okay, people? All right. Take care, and God bless.